Hey everybody, shopping nobody else's auto. Sunday, fun day, time for some Sunday night live chat. Looks like we got a bunch of you guys here ready to go and waiting tonight. Leo's here, Justin's here, Jim's on, Dean's on, Tony's here. X-Ray Dean, first time in the same time zone. Okay, well, I guess that's good. Glad you're catching us at our normal time, I guess. 7 o'clock here, so Scott's on with us. Looks like we are connecting on Facebook as well. As always, we are live on two formats, both YouTube and Facebook. As you see me glancing back and forth, I'm keeping an eye on comments on both formats. Lee's here with us. Dennis is on. So that's what I'm doing as I'm checking back and forth. Dad's on with us. Randy's here. Gary, big job. Exciting night tonight. Big raffle tonight. Going to give away the Delco thermometer, the Mecum feed sign, and courtesy of Leo and his boys, the Structo cattle truck. Bill Disk is here. Anyone else going to make it to Ford Carlisle? I know I won't. Bill Wagaman's here. We'll be short. The race is still on, okay? Gary's like, get them badges rolling. We can do that because they are right here. Alan from Arizona is here. Kevin's on. Tony made it. Weston. Justin, there's the badges. Scott's on with us on Facebook. We'll get these things warmed up and ready to go for tonight. Pete is on with us tonight. Kenny's here. Man, you guys, you keep coming back. It's awesome. It still amazes me that you guys loyally keep coming back every week. Never thought this would turn into what it has, but it's all because of you guys coming in and hanging out with us. Michael from New Jersey's on with us. So, anyway, looks like we got a great crowd right out of the gate tonight, ready to get going. Got a full night planned tonight, as always. Lots of cool things to talk about. New inventory of the promo model, some cool badges. Number 1 made it. Numero uno here and ready to go. The magazine tonight. Auction boxes jam-packed. I've almost got enough stuff in the auction boxes to get us all the way through June. That's how much stuff I've got piled right here on the floor. Tumas, windshield for 7784 Caprice. Nothing that would be any good. You could probably still get those new, I would imagine, Tumas. I'd check on getting that new. Mike from Texas is on. X-Ray is going to be on for a little bit because he's out of town. I figured since you were in our time zone, I figured you must have been out of town, X-Ray. So, yeah, whenever you get us out, if you get any time this week, give me a shout so we can try to sort out where that check that I've got from you, what I need to apply it to and where we're at on that stuff. I understand if you're out of town, you're busy. Whenever you get a second, get with me on that so we can get that figured out. So, Johnny Z's here. Hudson badge. Yeah, all right, sounds good, no problem. And with you being out of town, I know that's probably going to be a little tricky too, but whenever you get a minute, we'll get her sorted out. As always, a little bit of housekeeping. Autocorrect, please double check your comment before you hit send. If autocorrect changes something, then I don't know what to, and I can't make it out. I will skip it and go on to the next comment. So please double check your autocorrect before you hit send. Have not heard from Mark, Jim. I talked to him Monday, and he was going to have surgery Tuesday. So he figured he would probably be pretty much laid up for most of the week, at least for 2 or 3 days for sure. So we'll see. We'll see if he jumps on with us for a little bit tonight. But I have not heard anything. No. Between the D's here. Charles is on with us. Yeah, we can grab that plate for sure, Brian. Not a problem. Rhubarb apple bake in the oven and sausage on the grill. That doesn't sound like an all bad plan. Kevin L's here. So please double check your autocorrect. If you are on the Nobody Show page on Facebook, I cannot see those comments. This is a shared video from the Nobody Else's Auto page to the Nobody Show page on Facebook only. If you just want to watch there and hang out, you're perfectly fine. If you want to comment, participate in the auctions or anything like that, you will need to be on the Nobody Else's Auto Facebook page or the Nobody Show YouTube channel. Those are the only 2 sets of comments that I can see. You'll sort of watch, hang out, you're perfectly fine right there. So, perfect, Tony. I'll be going through all that again in the morning. So, we'll get her handled. We may need to add some more to it. We'll see how things go tonight, Tony. Alex is here. Trolls, as always, once in a while we do get a troll on here. I do ignore them. They want my attention because they can't get enough from mommy. So I ignore them. You guys do an awesome job of making sure they're not welcome, reporting them, and running them off. I appreciate that. That's why I will ignore them. So if you see somebody making a bunch of smart comments and you see me ignore them, go ahead and let them know that they aren't welcome and report them. So always appreciate the help on that. Super chats are always awesome. Sometimes some of you guys throw up super chats, and also throw a share out there. Let your friends know that we are on and we are ready to go for tonight. So anyway, since Alex is here with us, we'll start off with that. Alex was here Friday and picked up his Packard. So Alex has the Packard home and getting ready to start on that one. So it was good to see Alex again. Plus, he got to pick up all of his cool auction winnings. He had some great badges and caps and plates we had stacked up here for him. So always good to see Alex. Picked up his Packard. It's back home with him, so he can start piddling with that. So that was exciting. What else is going on? Just shortly before I got on, there was a comment on, in fact, I screenshotted it. There was a comment on one of my Pioneer Village videos. I screenshotted it so I could share it with all you guys. We did a video when we went and picked up the signs that I bought. Dan for Defiance is here. The big Pioneer Village signs that I got on the online auction. When we went and picked those up, we did a video about the improvements that were starting to happen. This was in November when we were there. They were putting plans into place. They were getting ready to make changes. They were going to start fixing things up. We put that video out, and there was a comment on that just late this afternoon. John, as a member of a team of volunteers that spent the last 2 weeks of May this year, I am happy to report that now the merry-go-round is operational. About 20 of our group were all over this place, making new signs, repainting the steam locomotive, repairing lights, replacing over 2,600 square feet of tile in the main building. Please come check out the improvements at the 70th anniversary celebration this weekend, June 10th and 11th. So awesome news to hear that. So exciting to hear good, positive things happening, getting ready for their 70th anniversary. Obviously, it'll be pretty short planning to try to make that unless you're anywhere near it. But obviously, any positive news, because the place had kind of been getting run down. It's really exciting to see the fact that things are changing there for the better. And one of the members of the volunteer crew actually watched the video that I put up about those improvements. So check that stuff out. Like them on Facebook. I think they even started their own YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. Be sure to check all their stuff out. Keep up with what they've got going on their Facebook. They've gotten much, much more active on it. And things are definitely heading in the right direction. If you haven't seen that place or don't know what we're talking about, be sure to go check out the Pioneer Village videos on the channel. I've got a playlist for them, so you can check that out. Kevin L is going in July. Awesome. If you didn't catch any of those videos, be sure to check out the Pioneer Village playlist on the Nobody Show channel and check some of the stuff out they've got going on there. We've talked about it on here before, so we won't go on about it too long. But it's such an amazing collection. History of man's progress from like 1830 on up to current, basically. I bet they've added some stuff now. They put that collection together starting in 1953. Or actually before 53, their grand opening was in 53. So, history of man's progress, over 300 vehicles, and all those vehicles are basically in the exact same condition they were found. They were put in there. Some of this stuff looks like it came off of a used car lot in 1951, and that is exactly how it is on display right now. So super awesome. Alex has been there. Nice collection of early aircraft as well. That's definitely true, Alex. They've got it all. Planes, trains, cars, trucks, boats, telephones, waffle irons, dolls. They got it all. It's just amazing. If you check out the videos, and if you're anywhere going to be near there, or just plan a trip to go there and check it out. It's great. But it's cool that one of the volunteers watched the video and made the comment that they've made that much progress. So definitely exciting to hear that news. Something else that I was going to talk to you guys about a little bit. We talked about, there's Nate right there, just getting ready to talk about Nate. He said it was worth going to. Jeff from Ottawa's here. I did talk to Nate this week and a little bit more. Pioneer Village is in Minden, Nebraska. The little town of Minden, Nebraska is where it's at, Tony. And it's an amazing collection. But I talked to Nate earlier this week. If you guys remember last week when we were talking about electric cars, and Nate said that he had just been to school on electric cars. Nate's a body technician at a GM store. So he had just been to school on them. I talked to him a little bit about it this week, and he enlightened me on some other stuff, some other very interesting challenges that we're going to be facing with electric cars, Hudson Badge, as if we didn't know there were enough already. Obviously, he has to go to special school for it. The dealership that he works at, he said they're having to put up an entirely new building and buying new super heavy-duty forklifts to handle the battery packs. They have, GM has like a whole layout of what they're expected to put in for charging stations. And their local electric supplier already said, we can't even support what GM says you have to have, much less put these things in all over town. Their grid in his city was not even capable of handling what GM said they needed to have. And the really interesting thing that he mentioned, especially, Nate being a body tech or any tech, you've got a big toolbox with a huge investment of your own tools in those facilities. Yeah, Pioneer Auto in Murdo, South Dakota. No Dave, no Vivian. Been there a couple times. Great people. Love there. And we've got videos from Pioneer Auto in Murdo as well on there. But great people. Dave Giesler, his daughter Vivian, awesome people. I bought a few signs from them and always enjoy going there as well. You can check out those videos on the channel as well. But obviously, like Nate or any other professional tech has a huge investment in there. And basically, the scariest part, he said, is the fire marshal told them that if one of them catches on fire, they said if it's on the ground with wheels on it and you can get it drag it out as far away from anything as you can and let her burn. They are not even going to attempt to do anything with it. They're going to let her burn to the ground. They said if the vehicle, Doug's here with us, is up on a lift or no tires and wheels on it, not mobile, they said they're still not going to fight it. They're going to let her burn. Call your insurance agent. Shop and everything. So a lot of as if we didn't know a lot of this stuff was scary enough to start with, just from the very basic little tidbits that we're getting. Nate's kind of on the front lines of this stuff, and that's what they're telling him right now. And that's pretty scary stuff. If you got, tens of thousands of dollars of your own equipment in there and they're saying, too bad, we're not touching it. That's kind of scary. And the other thing you wonder is if they sell all these cars and all these other people want chargers put in their houses, how's all that going to work? If they don't even have the power to cover the one layout GM wants for their store. So Travis is here. There's something with them, Bill, that they're just not going to fight them. I don't know what the danger is with them, but apparently it's an extremely dangerous situation for the firefighters. So, and that's Alex. Alex just said you don't want water on a battery fire. And Alex has a very deep background in electrical engineering. So that's, there again, some great input from Alex, because that's, kind of his world. So that would be why you don't want water on a battery fire. So there's, they can pull up with the biggest tanker truck in the world, but if they can't use water on it, what's it going to do? And obviously, if you get into foam, there it is. Water plus there, and there's the answer right there. Alex just told us. Water plus lithium can explode. So you've got this huge, probably 800 or 1,000 pound lithium battery, and you hit it with water, it could go boom. And that's right. I was thinking foam is an option. That's what I was wondering. But then you've got, you've got a whole car burning or a whole shop burning. How can you get that much foam onto something? If you've got a campfire, you can spray foam on that. But Scott, any fire will likely destroy the entire building. And that's right. And insurance rates are going to go through the roof for everybody. That's what Nate said. They told us they considered a chemical fire, and water isn't going to touch them. So anyway, a lot of interesting tidbits that Nate filled me in on that I thought I'd share with you, Auburn Badge, about what he's learning being on the front lines of potentially having to deal with these things, very, very quickly. But like I said, if it wasn't scary enough already, that's definitely some food for thought there to think about. Just keep a big 20-foot hole dug in the back corner of the lot, and drag her out there and shove her in. But what's coming up? Obviously, we talked about it a little bit last week. What do they say about your garage attached to your house with electric car fire? Probably the same thing. If the water hitting the lithium battery has potential to explode, there again, they may try to like save half your house, but anything near the car, they're probably not going to touch it. It might tweet it, that'd be an awful lot of baking soda. Yep, that's exactly where the Auburn badge came from. That's for sure. Speaking of which, that's where we were going next. That's where I'm headed this weekend, Mecum, Tulsa. I know a few of you guys mentioned that you are going. If you are going, reach out, let me know. We'll definitely try to catch up while we're there. Maybe do a video or something while we're hanging out. We're kicking off the auctions with a 3-toy bundle. Actually, I've only got 1 toy. I had some more toys I was going to grab, and I forgot to grab them. I think I've only got 1 toy in here because I forgot to grab the other handfuls. So, only got 1 toy tonight. But I got a pile in here. I'll get the rest of those toys drug in here. But yeah, I'm heading down Thursday. We're going down Thursday morning, and I'm going to go see Doug at ACD on Thursday afternoon, and then auction Friday, and then Saturday morning, and then whenever we get ready to head back Saturday, we're going to take off. So the cat will entertain you. What are you doing, dummy? Gray kitty. Hello, Gray kitty. Perfect. Sounds great. Can't wait to see you. So that's what I've got going. So we will be putting some content up from there. We may do something live. Not sure. We'll see how it shakes out. Jim Wicks will be there. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how much time we've got. Perfect, Leo. Sounds great. Gray kitty is right there. Yes, you. Yes, they're talking about you, dum-dum. So looking forward to getting away for a couple days. Definitely looking forward to seeing some of you guys and checking out some great cars. I am covering it for Old Cars Weekly, so that article will be printed, probably a month or so after we get down to the auction. So I will be taking notes for the Old Cars Weekly article. We will be doing some content. Hopefully Jim Wicks will take a few minutes to do some content with us as well. And have a great time. 5 on Gray Kitty. Auburn badge. So anyway, what else is happening? Like I said, we're going to shuffle things around a little bit, or start working to shuffle around a little bit. New inventory, since it kind of ties into what happened for the week. We're going to do that next. Then we're going to get into the promo model, the badges and the emblems, story time, auctions, and then do the raffle before we get into the magazine. So what the heck? Let's do the raffle. Let's do a bonus drawing right now. What do you think about that? How about a bonus drawing? We'll do it backwards. We're going to grab the new El Rico can. Right here, we're going to reach in here, and we're going to grab something out of here, and I don't even know what it's going to be. I'm going to grab just the edge of the package and take it, and it's going to be this. Whoa, I'm dropping them. It's going to be this one. Don't know what that one is, but in it's going to go. Bonus drawing. Bonus drawing. Here's whatever this is. It's going to go to what do we got here? I can't read it. Pete Winters. All right. All right, let's see what Pete got. Hot Wheels. All right. We'll put that in Pete's pile. Maybe just take it with me this week. All right. All right, we got Pete's name on that one. We'll put it off to the side. We'll put the big Buick oil can down for the time being. We may squeeze another one of those in before we get into the main raffle tonight. Oh, before we do that, like we always talk about, those are freebies. Pete cannot win another bonus tonight, but he is still in for tonight's big drawing. So he's out for any of the rest of the bonus drawings, but he is in for the big one still. New inventory. 62 Rambler, pretty rough. Not a lot left of it, but a 62 Rambler. And it was kind of a blank spot for me, 61, 62, 63 Rambler. I had nothing. So even though this car was pretty tough, I went ahead and drug it in, and we'll get some content out on it. The other one I got was a 53 Chevy pickup with a 54 front clip. So kind of an odd duck, but kind of an interesting story. I've actually got a little bit of history with this truck. Dad actually bought this one for a parts truck 30 years ago, back when we were using the old Chevy Wrecker, because it was a 3/4 ton. So he bought this real cheap at an auction for like $20, just in case he needed anything for the old Chevy tow truck, because at that time we were using that truck every weekend. So, and then he sold it after he got rid of the Wrecker, and then I just bought it back. So we'll be getting you some content up on that as well. But it is a 52 or 53 push button door handles with the old style dash, but it does have a 54 hood and front fenders. So we'll be bringing those to you here soon as well. Enrique's on from Kansas City. Hadn't been on in a while. Glad you're back. So, promo model tonight. Actually, I need to get with you, Bill. I need to get some different promos. I've got so many Ford promos. I need to mix up my promo collection. I need to buy some GM or Chrysler stuff or something. I need to mix up my promo batch. Because I actually found a couple more boxes of promos this week. We had a ton of rain at the end of the week. I was doing some work in the shop, found 2 more boxes of promos, all Fords. It's like, holy cow. So many Fords. But tonight, I do have something a little bit different, and it's an early promo, so it's a little bit crude. Enrique says all Ford's good with him, so it looks like we do have Justin, Travis, and Leo. They are all on right now, so glad they all got here. Tonight's promo, though, like I said, it's an earlier one, so it's kind of crude, and it is a little rough around the edges, but it is, the plastic promo started to come out in the late 40s. This one is a 1950, so it's a little bit different. Obviously, not the best plastic. Definitely has some warpage to it. That's right. I remember that, Enrique. You actually work at the Ford plant there, so glad you're hanging out with us tonight. Sweet. Pete got a Riata promo. I think I've got those. I don't know where they're at, but I did have those as well. So, Jim, early promos will melt in Michigan this week. Well, this one's already had a little bit of warpage to it, but it is something a little bit different. I thought it was definitely worth checking out. The 1950 Plymouth. Almost kind of an ugly duckling, especially in kind of the primitive condition that these promos were done in. I don't have a lot of duplicate Ford promos. I said I got a lot of Ford promos, but not a lot of duplicates. There may be a couple duplicates that may get sold, but that's about it. Now we can see, obviously, the nose and everything's still intact on this. The Plymouth letters on the hood were kind of painted on and kind of really out of proportion with the rest of it. On the side, about as basic as they get. No interior in this one. I had the mirrored window so you couldn't see inside of it. On the back, this one does have some damage. It is missing the rear bumper, and it does have a chip out of the rear quarter panel over here. I guess it would make it easier to change the tire, but it is missing. No, it's not a bank, Pete. It actually isn't a bank, but that's what we're getting ready to look at next. It is a wind-up friction. Scott just says any promo is good with him, so it is wind-up friction on the bottom of this, which doesn't work, but that's what it's supposed to be, was wind-up friction. So we can see the gear on the rear axle, but it's all worn out. You can see it's got quite a bit of play in it. And when we turn the key here, we can turn it that way and make it work, but when you wind it up, it's got too much play in it to catch and make the rear wheels spin on its own. So kind of a unique one, although not a real exciting one. metal base on this one, actually. It does appear to have the original tires and wheels, even though they're kind of a crude white wall. I don't know if somebody made them a white wall, but they all four do match. So a little bit different on this one. It is kind of an orangish red, which you can probably see. But the nose is intact. It does still have a decent shine on it, considering this thing's 73 years old. I guess a little bit of wear is to be expected at that point. You can see, I'm sure you can see some of the warpage in it. You can see some of the warpage down here along the lines of the metal frame under it. So, not the best, but something definitely a little bit different in the promo world. So, trying to break up the Fords a little bit. And I got a lot of cool Fords. It's been a lot of Fords. So, Jim don't remember seeing any early Plymouth. So, sounds like a 20. Oh, yeah. So, there it is, the 1950 Plymouth Friction promo. Auburn badge. Speaking of badges, let's talk about some badges. Sounds good, Enrique. Yeah, just give me a shout whenever you get a minute. As always, we're going to start off with a pre-war badge, then we're going to go to a post-war badge and talk about those particular cards. The first badge we're going to talk about is a very unique one. One that I didn't know a lot about, and maybe some of you guys do. A little rust on the right rear. Yeah, there we go, Bill. So, yeah, I do need to talk to you, Bill. I would like to order. I mean, if you've got some extra promos, I'd like to get some other stuff. Or if your friend had some stuff available that, let me know. And I'd sure like to take a look at some of that stuff that he may have that he might want to sell. So, I know you're definitely in that world. So, thought I'd throw that at you as well. But, as always, we're going to get into these badges, look at a pre-war badge as well as a post-war badge. Talk about those particular vehicles and their place in time and some of their history. The first one, like I said, is a very unique one, something that I didn't really know much about. I actually did a little bit of research getting this one ready, and that's where I thought we would start out with, since it is something a little bit different. This company actually began by making clothes ringers and then bicycles before building single-cylinder buggies called motorettes, powered by a small De Dion engine in 1900. Now, this actually, of course, this is on one of the greatest websites ever, American Auto Emblems. So if you want to look this up later or do a little bit more research, that's where I'm at, is AmericanAutoEmblems.com. Their first real cars were single-cylinder models introduced in 1901, followed by a two-cylinder tonneau in 1902. A range of four-cylinder limousine and touring cars made up to 35 horsepower were produced in 1904. A 35 horsepower limousine was in 1904 was a pretty big deal. These early automobiles were modern in appearance for the time, with a graceful coachwork. They entered the racing scene in 1903, and in 1904, a huge 60 horsepower racer called the Green Dragon was built to be driven by Barney Oldfield, which resulted in numerous speed records and publicity that made the name famous across America. After 1905, they decided to concentrate on the luxury market. A six-cylinder model was introduced in 1907 and a V8 in 1916. Nope, not Page. Alex is guessing Page, but it's not Page. They survived the First World War depression, but were continuing upheavals in management. A lower-priced six-cylinder model was introduced in 1925 to try to have a full line of automobiles, as opposed to just strictly their luxury cars, where they started to focus after 1905. Their styling, it continued to excel, and in 1930, a new design was introduced just before the banking crash. They were not able to survive the stock market crash of 1929. The last ones left the production line in June of 31. One model with a V16 developing 173 horsepower was built, and it was the grandest of all. It was a Murphy-bodied sedan, but by then it was basically done, even though the car did test at over 100 miles an hour in 1932. But there were no production. The company was essentially done after the stock market crash. Nope, Leo Tucker's were in 1948. Perfect, Bill. Not a problem whenever you get a minute. But the car that we're talking about, the badge that we're talking about, was Peerless. And I didn't know much about Peerless. This was a badge in our collection. I thought it was a great piece. Obviously very ornate. This one is a little bit rough. This is a 1925, 1926 Peerless. Just a few short years before the stock market crash that pretty much wiped them out. Very, very colorful badge with this green enameled background. Obviously the big eagle here, the shield, the Peerless with the blue background. Very, very ornate, very, very pretty badge. Rico's here. Glad Rico's on with us. And I hadn't either, Alex, so it's never cool. Pete hadn't heard of it. Like I say, that's why I thought we would share a little bit of the company history while we were getting into it. Old School made it. But this one is the 1925, 1926 era Peerless radiator emblem. This actually is a two-piece emblem. The eagle does come off. It is a stud mount with a nut on the back. This does actually come completely off of the green background. So we can take it completely off. There you can see the chipping in the green enamel, and you can see the eagle separately here. But a very ornate, very beautiful piece. So I was pretty excited about it. I don't remember if it seemed like it said something about plumbing products, but I don't remember, didn't read it, so. Steel Ponies, Jeff is here. So I don't know if that had anything to do with the plumbing products or not eventually, but the cars basically did not survive the stock market crash. Even though they wait for another year or two, they were basically done at that point. So there we have our pre-war badge, the very beautiful, very ornate 1925, 1926 Peerless. This badge is about the same size as our normal ones, just over 2 inches in diameter. So about 2 1/8 in diameter to give you an idea on size. Very comparable to our Auburn badge or our Hudson badge size-wise. So there it is, the 1925, 1926 Peerless radiator badge. Next, post-war. This is another cool piece, and it is very, very pretty. And I'm a fan of these anyway. Outcast Projects made it. What was Peerless manufacturing at that point? Cars up until 32, so they were full regular. They were a regular production car. But this next badge, obviously a lot of you guys know that I'm a fan of Pontiacs, and this is a very, very beautiful Pontiac badge. This one is round, early 50s, 3 3/8 in diameter on the rear quarter badge for like a 51 or 52 Pontiac. This went on the side of the rear quarter. This one I believe is the right. Yeah, this says right hand because of the way the Indian faced. Alex said they were pretty famous in their day, so. But this thing is super cool. Like I said, it's about just over 3 inches in diameter. This is pot metal, chrome-plated pot metal. It is flat. It is stud mount. And yes, it's new old stock. There's a little bit of chipping in the red. This background was all painted red. It does have a little bit of chipping in it. The Indian headdress center part there was red. So now this is 51, 52 era. 53 used a similar badge. However, 53 was stainless with a steel backing plate that mounted it. This one is all solid pot metal. This is one piece of cast pot metal other than the metal stud. Obviously, being Newell stock, the chrome looks great. It's got a few scuffs and scratches. Have been laying around for 70 years. But a good-looking piece, and I'm definitely a fan of it. Obviously, being, growing up on Buicks and Pontiacs, any of this type of stuff I've always thought was cool. So this one, when I came across it, definitely figured it had to go into my personal collection. Bought it at a swap meet with a whole bunch of other Newell stock Pontiac and Oldsmobile pieces. And this one was too cool to let go. So there we have it. I thought it was a pretty good pair for tonight. This is a rear quarter. This went at the back of the rear quarter on the side above the taillight. You'd have the taillight on the back of the car. This would have been like on the side of the car up above the taillight, like up here with your taillight right back here. So that's true. They have to change the name now. So that's where this would have went. This would have been on the rear quarter. So the 1925-1926 Peerless and the 1951-52 era Pontiac Newell stock rear quarter Indian head. Auburn badge. Story time. Who's ready for story time? I agree. Pontiac and Oldsmobile are both missed, and there were probably better ways they could have handled a lot of that, but they didn't, and that's where things ended up. Time for some story time or some badges. New segment. We added a month or two ago that you guys so far have been really excited about. Go through some old scrapbooks that Dad has around. We look at some pictures of an old car that Dad found several years ago, and we talk about that for a minute. So the other side, well, they both faced forward. So they had to be, one for one side, one for the other. You couldn't flip it, or it'd be facing backwards on one side, forward on the other side. And they both faced forward. So that's why this one, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the back or not, actually says right hand on it right here, if you see the RH. But tonight's story time episode, where we go back to a car that Dad found years ago, actually is a car that we kind of fixed up into a driver that actually has connections to a car that Dad has right now. Back in the early 90s, there was an auction in Hutchinson, Kansas. We went down there. It was an impound auction, and to see what they had. And we ended up buying a 73 Chevelle, this one right here. Kind of fixed it up a little bit, put SS badges on it, put Cutlass wheels on it, and made a great little driver for somebody. It was kind of a crapshoot. Like I said, this was at an impound auction, so we didn't really know what we were getting. Car looked pretty good. I remember it had a window that was busted out of it because I had to put a window in it. And then we painted these Laguna type stripes on it, put SS badges on it, put Cutlass wheels on it because it just had hubcaps on it, buffed it out, and made a pretty nice little driver out of it. Of course, you got to remember, this was in the early 90s. This wasn't quite a 20-year-old car. So this is like buying an 03 or an 04 today. And then and then spiffing it up a little bit and selling it. And that's exactly what we did with this one. Like I said, being that it was at an impound auction, it was pretty much a crapshoot as to whether or not it was going to run. Fortunately, it did. The car did fire up, and it ran out good and didn't really have any mechanical issues. Just needed some cleanup, some detail, and some help to make it a little more sporty. So Outcast has a friend like this. So, yeah, we sold this car. Like I said, this was early 90s, I think, is what I'm guessing. And obviously in the wintertime. But made a really nice little car for somebody. I don't even remember who bought it. But, there again, in today's world, that's a pretty cool car. 73, very unique car. The only ones with that tail panel. And then, of course, the nose on the 73 specific to that. Oh, that's right. Dad said they put a new vinyl top. He put a new vinyl top on it as well. Obviously, this nose is specific to 73. 74 still did have the single headlight, but it had a totally different pot metal grill. 73 used a plastic grill with a little stainless trim around it. So, that's what happened with this particular car from about 30 years ago. In today's world, obviously, a 73 Malibu, that stuff's getting really tough to find. Back then, it was a typical old used car, which is what all these cars now that are collectors' cars, that's what they were at some point. They were used cars at some point. Just like the cars in Pioneer Village, they were used cars when they were bought and put in there. 1 year only color, and that's right, Jeff, that's another good point. That was a very unique 1 year color that a lot of people wouldn't think you would like. But there again, some of those colors are so unique and are tied so much to that time period or that car, then it really kind of makes them stand out when they're still one of those 1 year only colors. Not just this, but any car that had a color that was a little bit different and only used for a year or two, but is very unique. A lot of times gets tied to that car, but a lot of times people will change them to a red or a black or a blue, and then those cars are gone. So this one's like that. Eloy is here with us. Now, obviously, I remember that car well. I remember going to the auction, and I remember some of the work we did to it. Flash forward to 2019 at Mecum, Kansas City, and Dad picks up something kind of similar. Anybody remember the video on this car? Some of you have probably seen this one. We do have a video out there on this if you haven't seen it, because obviously it's been a few years old. Dad picked this one up at Mecum, Kansas City in 2019. GMC Sprint SP with a factory 454 in it. They made like 76 of these with a big block in them. So, kind of a unique car, still with that same green of just like this old Malibu that we fixed up 30 years ago. So sometimes that stuff kind of ties back together, and it's fun. But this Sprint that Dad bought, it turned out it's been a really great car. And like I said, with a factory big block, one of like 76 big block Sprints they made in 73. Definitely unique, but definitely ties us back to the old Malibu that we fixed up, 30 years ago. So anyway, comments. Let me get caught up on comments. Outcast. I remember what it took to make his dad's 70 in SS. He had lots of little small stuff. Big block El Camino. It's like a mating call. This car, yes, Dad does still have this one. This car, Dad does still have, and it's a really good car. In fact, he jumped in it and drove it home from Mecum. Jumped in it, him and his buddy, they jumped in it and drove it home from Kansas City that weekend. So this one is still in his collection. This one obviously went down the road years ago, but it's fun when you can tie the two back together. Dad was kind of in the market for an El Camino. This one popped up, had a lot of similarities to the old Malibu we did 30 years ago, and now that's where we're at. So still got this one in the collection, though. You better grab those, Outcast, or that or grab them and sell them to me. So, but hey, that's the purpose of story time, right? We want to talk about the cars from the past and all that stuff. So Ben on Facebook had a 73 El Camino, estate blue, and two 77 Sprints that were black. Yeah, and those are really great cars. So Weston says you can't beat an El Camino. Kevin enjoyed the story, says he still likes a big job like the story. So far, since we started doing this story time bit, you guys have been having fun with it. So if I'm guessing this is all a thumbs up to keep moving forward with the story time segment. And it's fun when we can do it that way and tie them together. Auburn badge. Zach's here, whiskey business. So more comments about the story. So I'm glad you guys are liking that. And it looks like the story time segment's going to stick around for a while. Tweed coat, tortoise frame glasses, a pipe, and electric fireplace for story time. There we go. Rusty's here with us. Wow, tons of comments on story time. Holy cow. Nate loved his 73 El Camino. Everybody, there's just, yeah, we just wrapped it up, Zach, but that means we're getting ready to roll into auctions. So we'll get into some auctions because we've got piles of auction stuff. Then we're going to do the drawing. Then we're going to check out a magazine. So anyway, who's ready for auctions? Get a few things squared away here. get ready to roll into some auction stuff, and then get ready to give some stuff away. Or we give something away right now. Everybody's getting ready. Let's give something away. Bonus drawing, bonus drawing, bonus drawing. For this, whatever this is. All right, Pete's already won one tonight, so he's out for the bonus drawings. Let's see what we got here. Down to one. Michael. Michael Glagola. Oh, this is cool. Hotel El Tovar, Grand Canyon National Park. Look at the artwork on this matchbook. I mean, it's crazy the amount of artwork that went into these things. A little bit of info on the back, but holy cow. These things were beautiful. So that's for Michael. That'll put that back in the sleeve here. Or try to. I got it all tore up now. All right. Got that tucked back away. Got Michael's name on it. Yeah, who needs a winner or cheer up this week? Yeah. All right, let's get into some auction stuff. Then we're going to give away all this cool stuff. The thermometer, the truck, and the feed sign. Auction time. All right, real quick, the rules, just in case we've got somebody new on. We'll hold up an item. We'll look at it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about the condition. We'll show any defects. We'll give you some dimensions. We may talk about that car a little bit. While we are talking about that item, if you're interested in it, you want to go ahead and throw a bid up, please do, so I know that we've got interest in that particular piece. After we get done with the description of the item, we will put it on a 2-minute timer right here on my phone. I will hit my phone right here. I keep it right here in front of me by the monitor. And we will go 2 minutes. I will tell you when 1 minute has passed, and I will tell you when 1 minute and 30 seconds has passed. When I tell you 1 minute and 30 seconds has passed, please be thinking about your maximum bid and be ready to hit it. Everybody has a delay. Your delay depends on your device, phone, tablet, smart TV, PC, as well as your internet provider. Some people have a 3 or 4 second delay. Some people have a 30-second delay. The first few items that we hold up, I will announce all bids as I see them, just so that you guys can get an idea of where we are at, even if it is not the high bid. But the high bidder, it will still stand. At the end of 2 minutes, when my phone hits 2 minutes, the high bidder that I can see, and sometimes there's stuff that pops up that I can't see, will be declared the winner. So we've had a little bit of mix-up due to delays and errors and things, and and you guys have always been great to work with on that, so I do appreciate that. More hearts and fireworks going off. I love that. And there's the 1 minute mark, just like I will announce when we hit the 1 minute mark on any particular item. At the end of 2 minutes, I will announce it sold with the high bid that I can see, and we will announce that. I will log all that on my big yellow pad as to keep track of who gets what. And that way, sometimes if you guys get confused on something, you can always call me on Monday. I've got it all written down. We go through it, sort it out. No big deal. Real simple. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at on that. Check, money order, Western Union, PayPal, friends and family. Any of those work fine. Not a problem. just make sure you put on there what it's for. If you send me a PayPal, let me know if it's auction winnings and a t-shirt, or, t-shirt and stickers, or, just put a note on there. If it says all auction, then I can usually tie that to my notes on my pad. Non-US bidders, you're more than welcome to play. However, you will have to figure out how you want to pay me, which there is typically fees involved with that. Like if there's a foreign wire, has fees associated with it, as well as you will be responsible for shipping. I think about everything tonight is going to be shipping included. We don't have any big stuff. Perfect, Jeff. Awesome. So in the 48 states, I think shipping on everything tonight will be included. Sometimes we'll have a bigger piece that I will announce separate shipping. If you were out of the U.S., then, you will have shipping, for the simple fact this thing needs to feed itself. And we spend a small fortune on 2 or 3 non-U.S. shipments. That kind of torpedoes the whole game for everybody. So appreciate you working with me on that. And I understand some of you guys buy for a couple weeks. That's right, Eloy, your stuff is on the way. I did get it the other day, and your stuff is on the way to you. So anyway, any questions, you can always call me tomorrow. If you're not sure what's going on, you want to bid on something, go ahead and bid on it. If you win it, call me tomorrow. My number is in the description part of this video on both formats, both Facebook and YouTube. Give me a shout. We'll walk it through. We'll figure out what payment method works for you, and we'll get it to you. So that being said, let's get ready to boogie and hit refresh. Make sure everybody's caught up to speed, ready to rock and roll. Let's have a Hudson badge to get ready. And let's find something to get started with here, because there's a slug of stuff here. All right, we'll start off with something a little bit cheaper, kind of get an feel for where things are at. It's got a little bit of damage to it, so kind of a cool piece. That's right, Johnny Z, I do see you. Testing 1, 2, 3. Leo's already loading. So here we go. Number one's ready for a toy. We'll get to a toy here in a little bit. I think I got one in there. Where's it at? Thought I threw at least one toy in here. There's one. Yeah, I got a couple toys. We got a couple toys, so we'll start off with this piece. Even though it's a little bit banged up, it is still kind of cool. You guys have liked these pretty well. We've got, and like I said, we've got emblems, cans, a few toys, regular caps, the small grease caps, plus a couple of wild card pieces. That's right, Nut Farm bearing caps. That's what we're going to start off with. You're exactly right. You probably heard them clanking around. This one's banged up a little bit. But it is a neat one for an Oakland. It got kind of clobbered over here and kind of took out like the A and the N. It is cast in it. You can see it real clear on the back. It does have the hex head up here to get it to spin it off. It's about 3 5/8 on the widest part of it. This was a thread-on piece. You can see the threads in here, so it did actually thread onto the axle. Had the hex head to get on it. Leo at 10, Alex at 15 starting us off. The threaded part, and Tony at 10 is about 3 inches. So Alex at 15 is my high bidder on this. Nut Farm at 20. Charles at 16. Tony at 17. Let's get this thing boogieing on the timer. And I've got Nut Farm at 20 is the high bidder at this point. I'm going to start on my notes here so I don't get behind right out of the gate. Nut Farmer's Randy Ellenberger. Okay. That makes more sense. All right. I'm going to try to keep an eye out on any other bids as well as seeing what we're going to do next. Alex at 25 as we hit the 1 minute mark. There's 1 minute. And there's 1 minute and 30 seconds. I've got Alex at 25. $20 seconds left to go. Was Oakland and Kaiser connected? No. Oakland was the predecessor of Pontiac. 28. Tony Napoli at 28. Pontiac was started the sister brand to Oakland and then ended up overtaking Oakland. Just about done with this one. Tony at 28. And that does it. Tony at 28. See, Tony told you might end up adding to your stack right out of the gate. Oh, just about forgot to do that. Michael's name from the last drawing. Just about forgot that. Still laying here on the desk. Back into the big Buick oil can for the big drawing. Something else I told you guys I want to really try to start doing, besides giving you a lot of Auburn badges so we can get into the auctions and have a lot of fun, was as we do new inventory, I want to grab things off of the cars that we're showing you and throw some of that into the auction. We've got some of that tonight from this week's new inventory videos. So I always like to try to do some of that, give you guys a piece of what actually is coming in and what you're seeing on the videos. We've got, I think, 4 pieces from the new inventory videos from this past week. So excited to share some of that with you guys. The first one is off of the 1962 Mercury. This is the badge off of the C-pillar, the rear roof rail, off of that 62 Mercury from the new inventory video. 49 Packard is what Alex came and got. This is a plastic insert in a pot metal frame. The plastic is not broken out. It does have some color loss over here, but it's not broken out. It is stud mount. I actually had to put some silicone on here. There's a metal plate that holds the plastic in, but a couple of the tabs were broke that held that metal plate in, so I put silicone around the edges. You can see over here, there's a little daub of silicone right there in that clear spot, but it is not broken out. We see the Mercury Man head on it. So kind of a neat piece. Just over 7 inches long and about 1.5 inches high. So about 7 by 1.5 inches, right off the C-pillar of the new inventory 62 Mercury from the other day. So any interest in this particular piece? This is a chrome-plated pot metal bezel with a plastic insert for the 62 Mercury. Charles at 10. We are live on the timer also. I did hit that just as we were talking about that, so we did just start the timer. Pete at 10. Fresh off the new inventory, 1962 Mercury. These are kind of like stars. Star, Mercury Man head with stars on each side of it. Chrome looks nice on it. Kind of a cool piece. It is flat, so you can stick it on a bar, your toolbox, whatever you wanted to do with it. Charles at 10. Yeah, it wasn't Ford certified silicone, but it held it together. So, and for somebody using it for a decorator piece, it should be just fine. It's exactly what I was thinking, Tony. It kind of looks like Pontiac stars. I literally thought the exact same thing. 1 minute has passed. Charles at 10. And I know that this isn't a big high dollar badge. That's why we're starting off with a few smaller pieces here to kind of get things rolling. But I think you guys have liked getting stuff directly off the new inventory, so I definitely want to kind of try to keep working some of this stuff in. Minute 30 has passed. Just about done on this one. Charles at 10. And that'll do it. Charles at 10. All right, we've done a little bit of literature in the past, and you guys seem to like some of that. It's nice, bright, colorful, cool pieces. Some of the times it folds out. We're doing a batch of Oldsmobile stuff. Do we have any Oldsmobile fans on here? 3 pieces in this bundle of Oldsmobile literature. The first one is 1972 Oldsmobile the color chart. I really don't know if we've got any Olds fans on here or not, but I had some of this stuff laying around the shop. I thought we'll throw a few piles of it together, see what you think. The 77 Oldsmobile Cutlass Omega and Starfire brochure. Okay, good. I'm glad some of you guys are liking it. I don't, with some of this literature, you never know. So, and this is, I don't know how many pages are in this book, if it even says. 27 pages. Shows the options, the colors, the body styles. 27 pages in this book. Leo at 10. Tony's got a 61 Cutlass. Those are cool cars. And one more. I've got Leo at 10. One more piece in this batch. Maybe. So I figure out how to get it open. This thing's sealed up here pretty good. Alex here. Alex made it on Facebook. Scott's also a fan of him on Facebook. Come on. This thing is in here. There we go. The 1965 Oldsmobile full color brochure. This one is 25 pages. It folds out. The whole back cover folds out. I don't know if you can see it all or not, but it's a great piece. Full line on the 65 Oldsmobiles. Alan's here. Power plants. Station wagons. You got to love the wagons. .442. Had the 77 Vista Cruiser. So anyway, let's sell them. Leo's already started us off at 10. I would think these would probably do a little better than 10, but you never know. We're going to sell them, and you guys are going to tell me what they're worth because they are cool pieces. Nice, big, full-color brochures on the Oldsmobile stuff. Let's go. We are on the timer, and I've got Leo at 10. All 3 pieces, one-shot deal. Kind of tricky to hold them all. This thing's actually kind of heavy. It's so big. You know, compared to my notepad, it's bigger than my notepad, so it's a nice size brochure. Scott was a teenager in the 70s, go to the dealerships. He's got a bunch of those saved up. Yep, they're cool pieces. Got Leo at 10. You have a 61 or 62 F85 Cutlass and a driver's side rear glass with frame. Depends on what body it is. I don't have an F85. I've got some specials depending on the body style. 1 minute has passed. Dennis at 15. Travis at 17. Minute 20 has passed. And there's the minute 30 mark. We got more fireworks going off. That's awesome. Travis at 17. All three pieces. $20 seconds left. Zach, 19. Few more seconds. Zach at 19. We're coming down to the wire. Leo at 19, but I had Zach first. Travis at 21, and that does it. Travis at 21, just right in the nick of time. Travis at 21. Put this thing back in its sleeve. Actually, I think I put all of them here in the sleeve. All right. Perfect. Okay, what else we got? Let's keep moving here. See what we got laying around here. Oh, I know what we need to sell. What Jim donated us. Jim and Jim's viewer pack. If you remember, we had those pencil drawings with the replica badges, not the real badges, like these real badges, but the replica badges with the pencil drawings. Jim told us we could sell one of these, the duplicate, so let's get to that next. Donated by Jim in his viewer pack of the 1934 pencil drawing of the Duesenberg with the replica badge. You guys may remember these from Toy Tuesday last week, not this previous week, but the week before last. He sent us a packet of these. There was a duplicate on this one. Jim said, let's sell it. So let's sell it. This is let me see how big this print is. It's an 8x10 print. Perfect, Leo. No problem. It's an 8x10 print of this pencil drawing. Alex at 25. The replica badge is metal. That's actually why it was flopping down on me, because this actually is a metal badge. So Alex starting us off at 25. We are on the timer. This is courtesy of Jim. Appreciate it, Jim. Give a shout out to Jim for helping support the show. And I'm going to write this thing up, and you guys see what you think of it. Alex at 25. And not much other action. I don't know if they're snipers or if Alex just kind of threw down right there to start with. So 1 minute has passed. $120 has passed. And there's the minute 30 mark. Coming down to the wire. Alex may just take care of this one real quick like. And that does it. We're going to mark it to Alex. We're 2 minutes is up. Yep, no shots fired at all. Oh, there they are. There's Bill. There's Zach. It was all after 2 minutes. Mike says he's having trouble with his phone, so he's got to jump off. But yeah, John's here. The shots were there. They just didn't quite make it. So holy cow. Alex at 25 is where we ended up at when we hit 2 minutes. More bids in there, but they were just hung up. Apparently so. Yep. Apparently there is a delay. That's right, Leo. They didn't say click. Let's do a can. This is kind of a big can, kind of about the size of our big Buick oil can. We did this a few weeks ago on Toy Tuesday. A lot of you guys liked it, and it's kind of a cool can. It's a little off topic, but there again, it's still a great piece, and it is metal, and it's pretty good sized, 9.5 inches by 6.5, with awesome graphics for Butterflake popcorn. These are cool cans. It is metal. You can see the seam on it right here. I don't know how old it is, but this is all painted. Butterflake. Super hybrid yellow hulls, net weight 10 pounds, manufactured by the National Oats Company in Iowa. Butterflake popcorn. Leo starting us off at 20. So something a little bit different, kind of off topic, but still really cool with great graphics. Just like the oil cans, you want good graphics. It is crisp, tasty, tender, and crisp on the popcorn. See, Tweely D at 10, John at 21 on the Butterflake popcorn can. John at 21. We are live on the timer. Number one says cool curveball. It's something a little different, but it's still cool. And I got one other kind of off topic, but kind of cool thing too that I think you guys are going to dig as well. We'll see here after a while when we get to it. So that's right, John. It's got great colors. You know, lots of blue, kind of a real light blue, a medium blue, obviously the darker blue. The red really stands out against the blue. So cool piece. John at 21 is our high bidder on the Butterflake popcorn can right now. As we come up on the 1 minute mark. And there's 1 minute. 1 minute has now passed. Nobody's gold. Yep. That's what we're hoping, Kenny. John at 21 on the Butterflake can. And there's the minute 30 mark. That's it. These movie theaters used to use these 10-pounders, so it's probably where it came out of, was an old movie theater. 20 seconds left to go. Leo at 23, Eloy at 22, and I've got Leo at 23 as of right now. Few seconds left. John at 25, almost down to the wire on this one. And that does it. John at 25. This was kernels. This was just kernels. 10 pounds of kernels. John at 25. Haven't done a plate yet. We got to get some plates worked in here. We do have some cool plates to do tonight. About a 1950 Kansas. 1950, these were the ones that were basically bare aluminum with green numbers and letters on them. This one's banged up a little bit. Fairly straight. It does have some dents in it. It's got some wear on the 8 over here. Somebody painted the back of it white. I don't know why they did that. But the 1950 Kansas, this is a standard, basically 6x12 plate. Yeah, right at 6x12. Normal size plate, a metal original 1950 Kansas plate. The green is original against the aluminum background on the 50 Kansas plate. So we're going to throw this one on the timer and get ready to roll with it as I start looking for something else. Tweely D, the year I graduated high school. The 1950 Kansas plate. Nothing on it yet. That's kind of weird to hold the plate up and not have a $5 or $10 bid on it right away. Especially because we're on the timer on this one. Highlander at 10. Highlander likes plates. John at 5. I got Highlander at 10. John at 11. I don't know where Norma's at. I haven't. She wasn't on last week either. I seen her 2 weeks ago at the Hutch swap meet. And there's 1 minute. Hudson badge. Michael's class of 84. That's right, Highlander. Maybe he's got a shot if Norma ain't here. John at 11 at this point. And there's the minute 30 mark. 1 minute, 30 seconds has passed. Michael at 14 on Facebook. Travis at 15. Highlander at 15. Eloy at 15. I got Travis at 15 first. We got a few seconds left. Eloy at 17. Zach at 17. I had Eloy first at 17. And Michael at 17 now. And that does it. Eloy at 17 was first. I had 3 bids at 17, but Eloy was first. Zach came in at 19 after the fact, but it was too late. I had Eloy at 17 is who I had at the 2 minute mark. How about some hubcaps? More Addie caps. I had Addie get another batch of her caps ready. So we're going to sell some of those tonight as well. First one going, starting off now. I think we did one similar to this several months ago. It's a very unique one. One of those where it's kind of different. A lot of people probably don't even understand what the symbol is unless you know the car. This cap is rough. It's been up a little bit, but it does have a great shine. It has a cool badge that's going to stump your buddies when they're over trying to figure out what it is. I'm sure some of you guys probably remember this one because we've done 1 or 2 similar to this. I don't know if it was this exact cap, but use this badge. No, she got a pretty good batch ready. So you can see it's got dings and dents in it. This obviously was gold. This part up here was supposed to have been red on the insert on this late 40s era Oldsmobile, maybe into the early 50s. This cap is bent up. It's rusty and banged up on the back. But there again, for a wall hanger, it's nice and shiny. You can even repaint, maybe paint the red and repaint the gold, make it pop a little bit more. On the Olds cap, this is another one about 10 and a half inches. This is 10 inches in diameter on the size on the Olds cap. Travis at 15 starting us off on the Oldsmobile cap. You can see the good reflection in it. You can see the dings and dents in it, but when you're hanging this thing up on the wall, decorating your man cave, lining them up around the ceiling, people are walking and say, what the heck is that thing? Because they're not going to understand what it is because it's such a unique symbol. Travis at 15. We are live on the timer. One minute has passed. There's the 1 minute mark. Travis at 15 on the little Olds cap. And there's a minute 20. Minute 30 has passed. Zach's going to start at 14 since they both share the same birthday, but Travis is already in at 15. It's like he may get it for 15. We're down to 20 seconds. Bill Disk at 21. Zach at 18, but I've got Bill at 21. Zach at 22. And that does it. Zach at 22. Daniel says, good show. Thanks, Daniel. Zach at 22. Next up, another piece off of, oh, holy cow, come back. Clark's here. Another piece off of one of the cars from this week's videos, the new inventory videos, the 1949 Ford. Who wants the hood ornament off of it? Yes, the hood ornament off of the 49 Ford from Friday night's video. Now, this should have a plastic piece right here, which is broken off. You can see the chunk of it still in there. So this plastic piece is missing. John at 25. This is a pop metal ornament directly off of the 49 Ford from Friday night's video. It is not broken or chipped. It does have a little bit of pitting in it. Chrome still has a pretty decent shine on it. Let me give you some dimensions on this thing. Where'd my tape measure go? Oh, it's under here. And then we'll get her going. Leo at 28. It's about 11 and a half from here out, clear out to the front here. It's about 11 and a half inches, and it's about 3 3/4 tall right here. Leo at 28. Let's get this thing rolling on the 49 Ford hood ornament directly from the video the other night. I hope you guys like it. I try to squeeze some of this in. I've got a couple more pieces off of cars from this week's videos as well. So Highlander at 30. That's right, John. You look great on top of your mailbox. Eloy wants some Chevy stuff. I'm sure we got some Chevy stuff in here. Oh, yeah, we got some Chevy stuff in here. Actually, I've been needing to do that stuff for a while. Highlander at 30 as we come up on the 1 minute mark. And there's 1 minute. Highlander at 30. And there's the minute 30 mark. Coming down to the wire on this one. Highlander at 30. We've got a few seconds left. Is anybody going to jump in and snipe him on this one? No, that does it. Highlander gets it. Oh, John came in at 31. 2 seconds too late. Literally 2 seconds too late. Highlander at 30. Highlander's a Ford fan, so I know he'll appreciate that. All right, number one's been wanting a toy, so this is a different chair. I got rid of the other chair a long time ago. This one ain't much better, but clear plastic or orange tint. No, this is an old pop metal toy. Two of these getting thirsty. Yep, we need to do that too. I'm not sure the brand on this one. It looks like a Tootsie, but I can't make out the company name. But it's a cool little car. It has original wheels on it. It's kind of pop metal. Oh, the Ford hood ornament was clear plastic. It'd have been clear plastic is what this one was. Because there's still a piece of it in there. You can tell right there where it was just clear plastic. No, I've not heard anything on Mark since he called Monday. So thought we may have, or thought he may have been feeling better and beyond tonight. But we have not heard from him. Auburn badge. This little toy car, Leo's at 10. We ain't even seen the toy car yet. I think it's a Tootsie or something, and you're fine, Leo, at 10 for sure, because this thing is really cool. It does have a lot of paint loss for sure. The super cool, probably 30s or 40s, aerodynamic looking little toy. Little coupe, big long flowing fenders, wooden wheels, and they do appear to be all original wooden wheels, all 4 of them. It says made in the USA up here on the roof. It is 5.5 inches long. It does about look like it about can fly. 5.5 inches long, 1.25 wide, and 1 3/8 high. So 1 3/8 high. Nut Farm at 15. Cool little piece. Check out that grill on this super cool car. It even has looks like a rumble seat because the handle's up here like it would flip backwards for a rumble seat. Big, long, flowing fenders. Check out the ornamentation on the rear fenders. We are live on the timer on this thing. I did just hit it a few seconds ago. So, yep, Alex, this thing is pretty cool. Nut Farm at 15. Brian Dispatch at 30. Tim's here. It is kind of Dick Tracy, that's for sure. Brian Dispatch at 30. Just past the 1 minute mark. I'm sure it's lead paint. I haven't tried to gnaw on it, but I'm sure it is. I did find a dash. Minute 20 has passed. Doug did have a dash, but Dennis had to run it by Iski to see if they wanted to go with an original dash or build a new one. So minute 30 has passed. But yes, I did talk to Dennis and did talk to Doug, and we've got it all lined out if they decide to go that way. Zach grew up on lead paint. Yeah. Brian Dispatch at 30. 20 seconds left to go, and it is pretty cute. Yep, that's for sure. William's here with us. Few seconds left. Brian at Dispatch at 30. Kenny at 35. That snuck that one in just as I went up to hit the end. Kenny at 35 snuck that one in. Brian came back at 38, just a hair too late, obviously, because Brian was just, or not Brian, but Kenny was barely snuck that in. There would have had to have been like that split second had a second bid come in to keep Kenny from getting that one at 35. Who wants an old plate? You guys may have a shot at getting, since Norma may let you guys have some since she isn't here. We'll give you a Hudson badge. Leo's already loading. Really, really old plate. Condition is only fair, though. However, one thing about this year of plate is this particular year, fair is about as good as they get. They did not use very good paint in Kansas on plates. On top of the fact it's over 100 years old. I mean, it's got a little bit of an excuse when it's over 100 years old. But definitely showing some signs of age. But it is a 104-year-old 1919 Kansas plate. Now, this was supposed to be kind of an off-white with blue letters. The colors did not last hardly at all on 1919 plates. It was one of the worst years. William at 25, right out of the gate. It's a cool piece. Well, you're a little late, William, but you're not late on this one. You're ready to go. This is a little bit bigger plate. It is 14 3/4 by 5 7/8, so a couple of inches longer than a typical plate. Leo at 30. It's great wall art. It is definitely great wall art. It is original paint. It's just not in good condition. It has not been repainted or restored. This one does not. It is a 19. I checked it compared to mine. Wrote it on the back. It is a 1919. William at 40. Let's get this thing on the timer and get rolling. A few of these holes do appear to have been added, but it is literally, it is 104 years old. That's right, John. So it's perfect. So it is a cool piece. William at 40 on this super cool 104-year-old Kansas plate. Alex at 45. That's another great point. If we're at 104, we all look this good, that's a win. Tony says they get better with age. Alex at 45 on the 1919 104-year-old plate. William at 46. Tim's hoping to look that good at 50. I know the days. Just past the 1 minute mark. We did just hit the 1 minute mark. Alex at 50. And there's the 120 mark. $130 has passed. I've got Alex at 50. That's right. It would have amazing stories, I'm sure. 20 seconds left to go. Eloy at 55. Some of the other ones did not display the year either. William at 52. I've got Eloy at 55. Few seconds left. We're just about down to the wire. What's going to happen on this? Eloy at 55. Couple of seconds left. And that does it. Eloy at 55. William came back at 56, just a couple of seconds too late. Eloy at 55. Holy cow, that one got interesting, which I figured it would. It's a great piece. Whew, that one was fun. And we're going to have some more fun. That's right. That's for sure. Norman would have fought for that one. All right, another cool piece. This thing is really great. It's got pretty decent color. It's small, but it's great. If everybody's ready for this one, I'm going to give everybody a Hudson badge just to get ready for this one. This thing is so cool. Hudson badge, Auburn badge. Here we go. DeSoto badge. 1928 to 1930 DeSoto. This thing is fairly small. It does have great blue enameling, and the black right here still all looks pretty good. We can see the DeSoto up here, all still looks good. I did not polish this. You might be able to polish this and bring a little bit of color back into some of this, but I didn't want to get too carried away with it either. It is got a slight curvature to it to mount on the grill shell. It had a screw on the back to help mount it. 1928 to 1930 DeSoto badge. It is about 1.5 inches by about 1 1/16 inches. Alex at 25. Nut Farm at 25. It's a great piece. It's a small one, but it makes a statement. Alex is starting us off at 25 on it. Zach at 26. We are on the timer. Let's roll with it. Alex at 35. Leo at 30. Kenny at 27. I've got Alex at 35 as my current high bidder. Yeah, it would be kind of a nice collar pin. Yeah, it does kind of look. That's another thing, William. This stuff literally does look like jewelry. Travis at 36. Never thought about it that way, but this stuff is so cool. It looks like jewelry. Travis at 36. Use them as cufflinks, yep. One minute has passed, just past the 1 minute mark. Travis at 36. Zach at 40. Women want diamonds, men want hood art. That's true. Minute 20's passed. Zach at 40. Alex at 45. There's the minute 30 mark. Alex at 45. Nut Farm at 45. But I had Alex first. Zach at 46. A little less than 20 seconds left to go. Zach at 46. We are coming down to the wire. Just about done with this one. Few seconds left. And that does it. Zach at 46. Great piece. Those are super awesome. All right, another Addy cap for the Mopar fans. This thing's really cool, and it looks great. I don't know what it's off of, but it's very simple. I think you're right, William. The stuff like that, you're always going to enjoy it. Just like all the fun we get out of the Hudson badges. Yeah, he was thinking cufflinks. Oh, that's the only spare one I've got of those. But this next Mopar cap looks great, and the simplicity of it is what makes it awesome. Plus, it's a great cap. In great condition, couple of small dings, but the simplicity of this thing is what makes it good. I think it's something from the mid-'60s with the Fratzog in it. I think they call it a Fratzog on this Dodge cap. Check this thing out. The simplicity of it is what makes it great. It is just nice, clean lines with the Fratzog right in the middle. You can see the stainless on this thing. Check out the reflection. It's all really cool because this is angled here, so you're showing the colors of everything in the office just angling back. And that's right. It just looks clean. You're right, John. You know, this makes the statement, and that's all they're worried about. That's all they needed to do. It is 10 inches in diameter, which is right about what most of these are. Obviously a great shine. Couple of little dingies around the edges, but they are minimal. This thing just looks really, really good. Now, I don't think it's new. Because you look at the back of it, and it doesn't look perfectly clean like a new one would be. So, I'm pretty sure it's used. It's just a nice, really clean cap for our Mopar fans. Yeah, then that's another way to put it, Brian. The Dart, it probably off a Dart, which was a pretty simple car anyway. So that's all they were doing with this cap. Tweedledee started us off at 20 on the Mopar cap. So it could very well be a Dart. I'm not 100% sure, but it absolutely sure could be. Tweedledee at 20, Nut Farm at 30. We are live. The timer's going on this thing. And that's a good point, Michael. It could have been like for the spare based on the condition. That's true. Nut Farm at 30. 1 minute has passed. Nut Farm at 30. And there's the 1 minute, 30-second mark as the fireworks and the hearts are rolling. That's awesome. Nut Farm at 30. Minute 30 has passed. Coming down the wire on the super cool Mopar cap. Nut Farm at 30, just about done. Few seconds left. And that does it. No, Tweely D came back at 32, just as Zach was at 32. Those are all 2 seconds too late. Nut Farm at 30. Randy is who we had at the 2 minute mark. Just barely snuck that one out at 30. Sam's here. All right, another piece from last week's videos. This thing's awesome. This thing's a statement piece, too. I mean, you have to have a Hudson badge to think about this. Now, it was kind of a shame what happened to that old 50 Buick. The nose got cut off for nose art, but that happens to a lot of those old cars anymore. But I did get the rest of it. Leo started us off at 10. Brian said he could see it, and that happens sometimes. Those bids can be in there, but they don't get fed to me in time. And that's why all I can do is go by what I can see. But this next piece off of the Buick that had the nose, that got the nose job, looks really great. In fact, I almost thought about pulling this out of the auction after I cleaned it up. It looks so good, but I thought, what the heck? Let's go ahead and sell it, because I know you guys are going to appreciate it as much as I would. And I've got tons and tons of Buick badges anyway, as you guys well know. But, man, this thing is pretty. This thing is so pretty. This is people cut their own nose off for art. This is the horn button out of that 1950 Buick Super that got nose jobbed. Look at this thing. Holy cow. Straight out of the car from the video. William at 25. Let me give you a dimension on this thing. Almost 4 inches in diameter. It's almost 4 inches in diameter. Holy cow, everything's all over the board. Williams at 40 is my high bidder. This is a plastic center, pop metal ring, chrome plated. We can see in the back it's got the clips that hold it in. Obviously, the center cap is really in great shape, and it is a sharp piece. Let's get this thing on the timer while you guys are checking it out. William at 40 is my high bidder on the 50 Buick horn button. And it looks new, but it's straight out of that car. Like I've told you guys, I want to get some stuff off those cars while we're doing it. That makes it fun. We've got one more piece off of it. This was the horn button, or the steering wheel center, the horn ring. I guess you had to push the ring to make the horn ring, or the horn go off. But this was the steering wheel center, horn button, whatever you want to call it. But it's a beautiful piece. William at 40. And 1 minute has passed. We're past the 1 minute mark. William at 40. William at 40 as we're just about up to the 1 minute mark. Or minute 30, excuse me. There's the minute 30 mark. William at 40. Yeah, we got more fireworks going off. And we're coming down to the wire. We've got a few seconds left. This thing's coming down. Are we going to get, is there going to be any snipers hiding in the woods on this one? We're just about done. Pete at 49. And that did it. Pete at 49. He slid that in at about 157, 158. Real smooth. Pete at 49. Williams back at 40, but it was too late. Pete at 49. And are you said you're going this weekend, Pete? If you are, let me know. If you want me to just bring this stuff with me, I can just bring it down too. Nuts next, another grease cap. We haven't done a grease cap in a little bit. This is a cool one. Like I said, I've got a ton of these I've been sorting through. I think this is another Dodge Brothers. We did a Dodge Brothers a week or two ago. This is a little bit different style on this Dodge Brothers grease cap. It's got some pitting and stuff in it. It's got the big DB in it. Excuse me. It's got all this ornamentation around the outside edge. Threaded on the inside. Much smaller on the on the backside than the way this thing balloons out. Travis at 10. Starting us off. The threaded part of it is at about 2.5. But when we go all the way across the front, Tweedledee lost us, but he's back. This thing is almost 4 inches across. Nut Farm at 30. It's almost 4 inches across on this Dodge Brothers grease cap. So, cool piece. I just hit the timer on it. I didn't give you a depth on it. It's about 2 inches tall. About 2 inches tall, about 4 inches across. Nut Farm at 30 on the Dodge Brothers grease cap. John at 31. I don't know the year on this one. I'm guessing early 30s, Kenny. Give me that Dodge Brothers. And there's the 1 minute mark. John at 31. Nut Farm 35. Minute 30's passed. Nut Farm at 35. Zach, 36. Nut Farm at 40. Few seconds left. Coming out of the wire. Nut Farm at 40. And that'll get it. Oh, Kenny came in at 201 with 41. Nut Farm at 40 by 1 second. It was 201. I called it at 2, was reaching up to hit it, and Kenny popped up at 41. As I looked down, it said 201 as I hit stop. I mean, literally could not have been any closer on that one. American Auto Emblems is the badge site. I know that because it's up on the other computer. I'm cheating because I'm looking at it right there. because I was looking up. I've still got it up when I looked up the Peerless. I've got Facebook up now, but I've got another window open because I was going to go over the Peerless information with you guys. So, yeah, that could not have been any closer. I mean, that was literally at 2:01 as I was hitting stop on that one. All right, how about some emblems for our Pontiac fans? We looked at one of these last week. We threw a few more Pontiac emblems in there with it. So, something for our Pontiac fans. A couple of, these are plastic, but there are a couple of just the basic scripts, which are great for decorator pieces. Put them on your toolbox, put them on your bar. One bigger one, one smaller one. The bigger one is 8 5/8 by 3/4. So this is about 8 1/2 long. The little small one is about 4 1/4 on the little small one. So literally right at about half size. And also going along with it, the Firebird from last week, the early Firebird badge. That's right, William. I knew that for sure. The first generation Firebird badge going with it. This is the Pop Metal badge. This is the actual one from the badges last week. Tony at 15, Travis at 10, but I've got Tony at 15. This is the metal. I believe it's a front fender badge from a 67 to 69 era Firebird. And it is 2 1/4 by about 1 1/2 inches. Travis at 16, Zach at 16. Let's get this thing going on the timer. Zach was first at 16. Tony at 20 on the Pontiac badges. We are on the timer. I've got Tony at 20. All three pieces, one money, a couple of generic badges, and then the Firebird going with them. And even though they're generic badges, they're plastic, but they're double-sided tape. Put tape back on them. Stick them wherever the heck you want them. Travis at 25. All three, one-shot deal. And yeah, this might be 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s maybe. That's a good point, number one. Travis at 25. Tim Speed Shop stopping by. And don't worry, guys, we've still got some cool stuff coming up. So, Travis at 25 as we hit the 1 minute mark. And there's a minute 20. Travis at 25. Got a little hairy there for a minute and then kind of backed off. We'll see what happens because we just hit the minute 30 mark. Tony at 28. Coming down to the wire with a few seconds left. I've got Tony at 28. Just about ready to wrap this one up. And that does it. Tony at 28. Get these all taped back together. I always like to tape all the emblems back together so I make sure that all the bundles stay together for you guys. How about another Addy cap? This is a cool old cap. Great display piece for our Ford fans. Stainless cap, original paint, kind of some cool hash marks, kind of a stylish looking cap. I think it's late 40s. The Delco thermometer, we're giving it away here in just a few minutes, Tim. As soon as we get out of the auctions, we're giving that away in the raffle. Check out this Ford cap. Stainless cap. It's got scratches. It's got dings. But all this paint appears to be original. The big hash marks, the forward angled Ford letters, the red looks original. Back of it is in pretty good shape. John started us off at 15. Travis at 15. Everybody likes this thing. I said, this is a pretty good looking cap, considering it's over 70 years old. Has a stainless cap with a steel ring on the back for mounting. Let me give you a dimension on this thing. This is 9.5. Randy, the raffles are $1 a chance. Travis at 17. $1 a chance, and it's the same thing as when you do the John at 18, the payments. When you buy something, if you want to add it to your auction payments, just say, here's for the auction, X amount for the raffles. It's $1 a chance. Travis at 20. So it's $1 a chance to get in for the raffles. And we're going to announce the new one as soon as we give these away here in just a little bit. So John at 21, Travis at 25. We are on the timer on the Ford cap. John at 26. Travis at 27. Future of motion was forward. That's exactly what it kind of looks like with that forward. It's all pointing forward. Travis at 27 on the Ford cap. And 1 minute has now passed. And there's the minute 20 mark. Travis at 27. As we hit the minute 20 mark, come up on the minute 30 mark. Cool looking piece. Well, there may be some snipers on this one. There was a lot of action right out of the gate. And it's kind of backed off a little bit. So John and Travis have been going at this one pretty hard. And we're just past the minute 30 mark. Coming down with about 20 to go. Travis at 27. John going to shoot back? Or is that John at 28? And that did it. Zach at 29 at 201. Tweedledee at 35 way past that, but John at 28 is who we had at the end, unfortunately, because I really like those other bids better, but we had John at 28 at the 2 minute mark, and that's the only fair way to do it. What's next? Oh, we got a really cool emblem. This is a great emblem. I said, we got a couple of super cool pieces yet. So don't anybody get discouraged yet. Because I've still got some great, I got so much stuff in here that we got a lot of cool stuff coming up over the next coming weeks. This thing is awesome. This is a statement piece. This thing has amazing chrome on it. I'm giving it one more final polish before I show it to you guys, because it looks so great. Leo's going to bid 10 anyway. You don't even know what it is. Well, trust me, Leo, you'd be perfectly fine at 10. There's no doubt about that for as cool as this thing is. Zach at 25. You're still good at 25, I think. Check this emblem out. It's a better sized emblem. Tweedledee's a little rusty. Nobody's never get discouraged. Good call, Kenny. Good way to put it. 14.5 inches on this emblem. Late 40s era Packard. Look at the chrome on that thing. I think this is a trunk emblem. Check that thing out. It's got a slight curvature to it because I think it went on the trunk. Few pits. Travis at 27. Zach's in love. Nut Farm at 30. There's a few pits and scratches in it, but it's pretty minimal. This thing is super cool. Travis at 31, like I said, 14 and a half, I think. Almost 14 and a half inches. So this is a statement piece here. It's not real tall, just over an inch tall on this gorgeous Packard. Travis at 31. We've got it on the timer. We are boogieing on this thing. Let's see what happens. It's beautiful. It is absolutely stunning. Lots of hearts for this one. Nut Farm at 32. The hearts are just pouring. It's like a river of hearts for the Packard emblem. And it's actually pretty well deserving of that. I'm not going to argue that point. Gary's digging it on Facebook. Zach at 34. So we've got a little interest on Facebook on this one too. We'll see what happens. Just getting a good start, not even quite to the minute mark yet. Zach at 34 on this stunning Packard. John says he needs to buy. He goes, if he buys this, he's just going to change his name to Packard just so he can put this on his front door. And that's really not an all bad plan, John. I mean, that seems perfectly logical to me. And there's the 1 minute mark. Told you guys we had some cool stuff coming. We still got a couple other cool things too. Halfway through, Zach at 34, but a whole bunch of people in love with this thing. Nut Farm at 35. Travis at 36. Minute 20's passed. Nobody's thrown out a knockout punch yet on this thing. I almost could see a knockout coming on this piece, but there's the minute 30 mark. Minute 30 has now officially passed. Ken at 41. More hearts, a river of hearts. Ken at 41. Nut Farm at 40, but we had Ken at 41 first. Tweedledee at 45. Zach at 45, but I had Tweedledee first. 45 is the bid with Tweedledee. Michael at 44 over here. Bill Disk at 47. Kenny at 49. Zach at 49. Kenny is first. Nut Farm at 50. Nut Farm at 50. And that does it. Nut Farm at 50. A whole slew of bids come in after the 2 minute mark. But when I hit 200, I had Nut Farm at 50. Holy cow. Zach did. There was Zach's knockout punch, but it was way too late. Nut Farm at 50 is who I had at the 200 mark. Holy cow, that went bananas. But Nut Farm at 50 was where we were at 200. All right. Don't worry, guys. We got a couple pieces left, and one of them is going to be just as good as that. So don't worry. One more piece. I told you we had one more piece coming off of which will kind of slow down after that one. This isn't quite as cool. This is off of the 62 Mercury from last week's video. This is the glove box bar off of that 62 Monterey. Does have a little bit of pitting, but it is not broken or chipped. So Tim, too bad I'm poor at the moment. That was a great piece. Yep. This is Monterey dash plate off the glove box door of the 62 Mercury that just came in from last week's video. Yeah, that's a good point, Tweedledee. You got a Bronco to pay for. John at 10. 15 3/8 by about 2 1/8. 15 3/8 by about 2 1/8. Chrome plated. It does have some pitting and stuff in here. Nice bright shine. It has studs on the back with screws in it, or basically kind of screws into the body right there on the 62 Mercury Monterey dash plate off the glove box door. John at 10. Let's get this thing on the timer on the 62 Mercury plate. I'll get the last couple of pieces ready, which are going to be awesome, especially the last piece. Travis at 15 on the Mercury plate. We got one more killer license plate coming up as well. John at 16. Nut Farm said he's getting a dirty look at home. That's not good. Travis at 17. So, a couple more pieces left. John at 20. We've got a great license plate coming up as well. So, John at 20 on the 62 Mercury dash plate, directly off of last week's video, 62 Mercury. That's right, Tweedledee. We have a blast with this stuff. We have a ton of fun. John at 20 as we hit the 1 minute mark. Good point, Kenny. Just pretend you didn't see anything. John at 20 on the 62 Mercury dash plate. And there's the minute 30 mark. $20 seconds left to go. John at 20. That's right, Kenny. We're having a blast with the auctions tonight. With a few seconds left. John at 20 coming down to the wire. And that does it. John at 20. And that's a good point, Zach. We're all here because we enjoy this stuff and we're having fun. So we do know it is all going to a good home. It's all going into one of our collections, and that's what makes it fun. One more cap, one more license plate. Cap for our Chevrolet fans, and then a super cool license plate coming up. You won't want to miss that here in just a few short minutes after we finish up this last Addy cap for tonight. The little Chevrolet Corvair, early 60s era stainless cap. Obviously got some dings and dents in it. It's 60 years old. But the little Chevy Corvair is kind of starting to get, have a little bit of popularity again. That's right, Tony. It is an addiction. There's no doubt about it. Michael says we got a lot of cool auction pieces. Travis at 16 on the Corvair cap. You guys don't even understand. I've got almost enough stuff piled up here right now to do the entire month of June. I don't have quite enough to finish the last week, but there's literally enough stuff piled up here for the rest of the month. And it's the first episode of June. So that's how much great stuff we've got coming. I'm just grabbing stuff off the top of the pile. So, Leo at 17. That's right. That's a good point, Zach. I got dings and dents at 40. So, Michael's excited about the Corvair cap. The little Corvair cap is 9.5 in diameter. This is actually stamped in it. We look at the back. We can see right here where we can see the stamping of the Chevrolet Corvair. This has got the little buttons kind of indented with the letters punched in there. Tweedledee at 20. It is all stainless steel. Nice bright shine. Let's get this thing on the timer. I've got Tweedledee at 20. Corvair, the car that said Porsche who? yeah. The whole World Report replied 9/11. Yeah. Nobody's anonymous. Good point, Tim. We may have to start a subgroup. Chris, my uncle's a retired pilot. He's got a Corvair. I wonder if something pilots or airplane enthusiasts likes to drive. That I couldn't tell you. Not sure. Hi, I'm Leo. I'm a nobody addict. Michael at 26 on Facebook. Michael been kind of quiet. He's hit a few things tonight, but jumping up on the little Corvair cap. Michael at 26. As we hit the 1 minute mark. That's for sure. Ralph Nader definitely killed the Corvair. Minute 20 is gone. He definitely did not help that thing. That thing got started off with 2 left feet thanks to him. So, good point, Bill. I don't have a problem. You stop whenever your wallet's empty. Minute 30 has passed. Coming down to the wire on this one. Minute 30 has passed. Not a lot of time left. Michael at 26 on the little Corvair cap. Johnny Z at 32. Coming out of the wire, Johnny Z at 32, and that does it. Johnny Z snuck that one in at about 156. Johnny Z at 32. Willie, my wallet's always empty. Love to buy everything in the auctions, but every time I get a paycheck, the Project Jeep takes care of it. Yep, that's for sure. Johnny Z at 32 slid that one in right at the end. All right. I promised you guys one more super cool thing, right? Last piece of the night. So this is what we're going to do. I told you I had something awesome saved up. At least I think it's pretty cool. So we'll go with that. And then we'll be on to giving a bunch of stuff away. What do you think of that? Number one wants another toy. Well, we only got one thing, only want one slot left tonight. We'll do one more plate, then we'll get moved on. But I will get some more of those toys in here for next week. I told you guys we had one more killer plate to do tonight. And it's great. These things are awesome. It is new. I've shown you a few of these. Travis at 20, you don't even know we don't even care what plate it is. So I think he's probably got an idea. No Bronco stuff. We've done a few of these. I've got a bunch of them. I say I've got a bunch. I've got about 25 of them, but I don't have a lot of duplicates. And I thought I was going to sell a bunch of them, but then I like them. I like them too much to sell them all. But we've done a few of these. We've looked at a few of these. Number one, love watching just the ship. Yeah, the shipping is just so bad for you guys. I understand that. Travis is at 20. We haven't even looked at the plate yet. Zach had to buy and swap his 235. But this is another one of the sample plates. The 0000 Kansas sample plates. Will says, if I get more Oldsmobile stuff, he'll definitely be broke. Travis at 25. I had a few cans tonight. The only thing we did was the popcorn tin, I guess. 1972 Kansas sample plate. Never been used. I didn't polish this one. This one needs to be polished. No, never been used on the screw holes. The back of it's nice and clean. Travis at 28. Eloy's looking for a 235. Chris at 29. These, like we've talked about, they were sample plates. Tweedly D at 30. That were sent to courthouses or to other states for comparison back in the days prior to the internet. So this way, each state would have one of these on file. They didn't have a computer in the cop car where they could just punch it up and look at a picture. They could radio into the office, figure out what the plate was supposed to look like for that year. Leo at 35. And actually, Mike, all the sample plates were Shawnee County because of Topeka. So we are on the timer on this one. Tweedly D at 36. They were all Shawnee County, SN, because that's where the state capital is at, Topeka. Travis at 38. X, since X was kind of generic, and the zeros. So they would send one of these to the courthouse if the courthouse wanted to display one in the state, and then they would send them to other states so they had a sample plate. Tweedly D at 43. You could be right, Tony. There's going to be some sniper action on this one. Travis at 44. Leo's reloading. Travis at 44. At the 1 minute mark. There's 1 minute. Travis at 44. Tweedly D at 45. Michael just got the 75 sample plate. He got Chris at 45. I had Tweedly D first at 45. Eloy at 60 on the 1972 sample plate. Tweedly D at 46, but I got Eloy at 60. Minute 20 has passed. Eloy at 60. Coming up on the minute 30 mark. There's the minute 30 mark. Eloy at 60. That may have done it. Eloy may have shut him down. Everything kind of slowed down after Eloy threw that up there. Eloy didn't say click. That's right. We got a few seconds left. We'll see what's going to happen, but we're coming down to the wire. Eloy at 60. And that did it. Eloy at 60. William had a 30 in there. That was probably in there for a long time. Eloy at 60. Great piece. Yeah, Steve's 30 was hung, or William's 30 was hung up because he put it in there again. So that got hung up in there from a long time ago. Super cool piece, though. All right. That was a ton of fun. Unless we want to do an extra piece or something. Unless anybody wants to do a bonus piece or something, we'll go ahead and get ready to move into the raffle. But a lot of fun tonight. You guys were awesome. That was a blast. And like I said, just the pile is still here. Nut Farm says bonus. Everybody wants bonus. Everybody wants bonus. Let's see. What do we want to do here real quick? We'll do one other piece somewhere. Let's do a Chevrolet badge. How about a Chevrolet badge? Kevin wants Chevy, so that's what that's what I grabbed. We'll do a Chevrolet badge for one more piece. What the heck? Mid-30s grill badge. William must have really been hung up because all of his bids are coming up now. So might need to refresh or something, William. I'm not sure what's going on there, but your bids were really hung up. Let's do a mid-30s Chevrolet grill badge. If you guys want to do another piece right here. This one on the grill, 34, 35, 36 era truck. 6 3/4, not counting the V. Just straight across here is 6 3/4. Travis at 20. Nice, bright, shiny chrome, especially considering this thing is so old. It does have the V to it. It is notched where it went around the grill. William had a ton of bids in there on the plate. So, yeah, I think they're last week's bids at this point. So, yeah, William had a ton of bids in there. They were just all hung up. So on this Chevrolet badge, we've got 25, I think. So I'm sure all the Williams bids were hung up in the system. So we'll do this Chevrolet badge height. I need to give you a height, and then we're going to roll on the timer. About 2 1/4 tall. Travis at 26, Tweedly D at 27. Travis at 30. Had Chris at 28, Travis at 30, then Tweedly D at 30. So, yeah, William, all those things had hung up William for some reason. I don't know what happened. Tweedly D at 32. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with your feed, William, but all your bids were like a couple minutes late. So I don't know what got hung up on that deal, but something got goofy. Tweedly D at 32. We run into that occasionally. I apologize, but sometimes that does happen. Tweedly D at 32. Michael at 33. One minute has passed. Michael at 36. Travis, here's somebody loading it. Michael at 36 on Facebook. I'm glad you're hanging out, William. It's a good time. So just don't know what happens sometimes with these crazy systems. They're great when they work, but sometimes they just flat don't work. Michael at 36. There's the minute 30 mark. Coming down to the wire. A few seconds left. Michael at 36. Eloy at 38. Eloy at 38 with just a few seconds left on the Chevrolet badge. Michael at 38, but I had Eloy first, and that did it. Eloy at 38. Do you have enough of the 50 to 70 Ford Shield Crest badge? It's red, white, and blue and lions to display them year by year. Probably not every year, no. Michael came back at 40 over there just a little bit too late. Michael was gunning for it. I do have some in the box right here ready to go, but I don't think I've got every year. But I got a couple of them right here in this bundle coming up sometime in the near future. So we do have some of those red, white, and blue 4 badges. I just don't know if I have all of them. So we're ready to give some stuff away or what? All right. Thanks, guys. We had a blast tonight. And like I said, there's still... In fact, there's so much stuff here in the office that I can't even get it right here. I've got some of it piled in front of the desk. Eloy says, more Chevy badges next week. Okay. So I've still got a ton of stuff here. And I'm started piling in front of the desk because there's too much stuff in here to even pile it all right here. So I'd have to go out and get a toy because I don't have those other ones are not in here. So yes, we had a blast tonight. I'd love to do more of them, but we got to keep moving on too. So we had a blast. Thanks to everybody for playing. Apologize. We had some system snafus again. That does happen sometimes, but not much we can do to control that. But anyway, it's time. Mags and raffle. Yes, the magazine's ready. The big Buick oil can is full of a bunch of familiar names. I thought about doing a freebie, Leo, but I'd hate to pull somebody's name and then they realize that they would have been drawn out for the winning if they'd get instead of the freebie. So a lot of familiar names in there. I'm sure you guys can see. Probably some of you guys can see your own names in there. Who got in this week? Michael Glagola, Kenny Peterson, Big Job, and Pete Winters all got in this week. So I've read them off every week. That's who got in this week. As we got through here, Nut Farm missed the raffle this month. That's all right. You wait till we see what we got coming up next, guys. Same thing as the other stuff when you pay for auction stuff, Chris. PayPal, check, money order, Western Union. Just make sure you can do the same thing. Just put on there what it's for. You know, if you're paying for an auction, you put auction items and $10 for the raffle or $20 for the raffle. However you want to do it. That gets your name into here in the big Buick oil can. $1 per chance. 3 prizes tonight. The Delco thermometer. The Mecum Feeds metal double-sided painted sign donated by Rangeline Antique Mall, Joplin, Missouri. Be sure to check those guys out. Like their Facebook page. They have some cool stuff. It's really a good antique mall. They actually have, you know, it sounds like weird to say this, but in today's world, they actually have antiques and cool stuff. Because a lot of these you're starting to stop at is all new stuff that is made to look old. They've actually got some pretty cool stuff at the Rangeline Antique Mall. So be sure to look them up on Facebook, like their page, check out what they've got going on. And then, of course, the Structo cattle trucks donated by Leo and the boys. Leo won last week. And he's like, you know what? I want to redonate that back for this month's drawing. So, Clark, great way to spend my holiday weekend in holiday Monday in New Zealand. Well, I'm glad John was from New Zealand, Clark. William wants the truck. It's a cool truck. So, first name out has their choice. I would imagine the Delco is going to go first because everybody's in love with the Delco because it's a great piece. But there is no way you cannot be a winner tonight if your name comes out of here in the next 3 drawings. All right. I think I got one. I think I'm down to one. Oh, I dropped it. I think I had one. No, I didn't have one. I had a couple. That's why I dropped them. I was trying to get down to one. Okay, now I'm down to one. Big job. All right, big job. What's Ron want? Delco. Okay. All right. Next one. The truck or the Mecum feed signs are both up. Big job is out. So if we pull big job again, we'll pull another one. Tweedly dee. Tweedly dee. What's Tweedly dee want? The truck or the sign? Tweedly dee wants the truck. All right, the Mecum feeds. Old school metal painted sign. If we pull Tweedly dee or big job, we'll grab another one. Norma. Norma gets the sign. All right. Awesome. Thanks for playing this round. Had a great time this month. Had some great pieces. Huge shout out to Leo and the boys for helping us out with the raffle. And definitely to the Rangeline Antique Mall in Joplin, Missouri for helping us out with this month's raffle. That being said, time to get ready for next month. Right? All right. We're all emptied out and ready to go. Okay, let me go grab the next stuff for next month. Zach needs a big Buick can in his life. All right, guys. Nope, it's not a clock. But this month is going to be awesome. Put some back in his account. Nope, not a trunk emblem. There's going to be no way to lose this month either. Absolutely no way anybody is going to lose this month at all. You know, I kind of keep track of the raffles. I keep notes on all this stuff because I want to make sure that we're doing a variety of things. You know, we do a lot of different stuff on here as far as, you know, what we sell, all kinds of memorabilia, signs, clocks, thermometers, toys, promos, badges, emblems, plates. You know, we do a lot of all that stuff, and I always like to kind of keep a good mix of stuff. Tweedly dee just wants to give away a whole car. Tweedly dee ain't messing around. So what I've done this month, and I didn't actually realize this until, you know, I was thinking about what to do next. And one thing I realized is we've never done a really, really good plate raffle. thought, well, I've been kind of gathering up some plates thinking about something like this. I was like, we've never actually done that. We've never done a really good plate raffle. So I thought we'd do some cool plates. So first off, the first batch is going to be 3 plates, all in one shot. These are all going to go together because it's almost a set, but not quite. We kind of sort some of this stuff out here. Okay, 3 different deals. The first one, which is probably going to be kind of the bigger part, the bigger prize. Obviously, we usually have something that is going to be a little bit better to stand out. So we're going to do 3 of them in this batch. And they are related. Starting off with a 1922 California. The envelope that was in the box I sent should be included as extras for each of the top 3 winners. Okay. So Zach is going to throw in, I'm going to screenshot this, Zach, so I don't forget that. Because Zach's got a box for Toy Tuesday. He said there's something in an envelope that he wants to go to each of one of the 3 winners. So 22 California. 23 California. Eloy just says go ahead and put his name on it. And a 28 California. How's that for a pack? 22, 23, and 28 California. These are a little bit smaller. These are all the same size, but they are a little bit smaller than what we're typically used to seeing on these plates. You guys are all trying to buy them. Okay, perfect. No problem. These are about 14 by about 5. These are about 14 by 5. All 3 of these are going to go together. Since they're kind of a set, not really, but kind of. They're same window, same era, same size. So all 3 of these are going to go together. Eloy's at 300. Eloy ain't messing around. I guess I should have auctioned them. I guess I shouldn't have raffled them. The next batch, these will be a pair of plates. Brand new 1969 plate. And Dad found a couple of these. I was out of these, the new ones in the envelopes. Dad found a couple. I think he had 4 or 5. I'm going to auction a few. We're going to raffle a few. These are in the envelope, brand new 1969 plates. This pair will go together. And for the third prize, and we all know how popular these are, a sample plate, another new sample plate, a 72, just like we just sold. So we know how popular these are. I had 3 of these. I'm keeping one. I just sold one. Third one's going in the raffle on the 72 sample. So there we have it. Obviously, seems like a lot of positive response to the plate raffle. We've never done, if we've done any strictly plate raffles, it's been a long time. Back in way old notes. So the 20s era California, all 3. Or the pair of 69 Kansas in the packages, or another sample plate. Yes, Chris. We'll sell tickets all month as we go through. I read off every week who gets in when we do them. And I think we will give this away. Would be July 2nd. Yeah, July 2nd, we will give this away. Brian's got to crash. I understand you're 2 hours ahead of us. I'm sure you got to get to sleep. So he always says, how much would it cost to fill up the big Buick oil can? So glad you guys are excited about it. Tons of great comments about it. I thought it was kind of a cool idea. I couldn't believe we've never really done just a really cool plate raffle for as many plates as we sell and for as great as plates are. I mean, look at this thing. When you look at this stuff, 1923, it's 100 years old. It's original paint. In fact, all these Californias are original paint. Obviously, the new Kansas are original paint. These are 100 years old and they're original paint. They show some scuffs, they show some scratches, but think of what these things have been through, what they've seen. You know, they survived the scrap drives of World War II. They ended up in Kansas somehow or another. So just think about what these things could tell you. Obviously, license plates are awesome to display. They look great on the wall. Look at just these 3 plates, the different colors on them. They're just great. License plates are great. And obviously, as you guys know, I bought that huge collection. I was so lucky that I stumbled into that whole collection, 1913 all the way up. Local plates for me. Not only was I lucky to find it and get it, it was from an actual local collector that I grew up around who is no longer with us. So now I've got his plate collection. So I was lucky to get that, which means I can sell a lot of my extra plates off to you guys. And this raffle, I think, is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be super exciting. So I will get this stuff taken down. I will get those plates hung up, and we'll be ready to go for the June raffle. All right. Let's see. Lots more hearts. Love the fireworks. Happy faces. We're all having a good time. Let's get into the magazine, knock some of that out. Michael on Facebook. You really can't go wrong. That's kind of why I wanted to get a really good mix with the sample plates, some new plates, and then the early Californias. I mean, there's just no way to go too wrong. Yeah, you guys do send cash. That's not a problem. No big deal whatsoever. It's just kind of at your own risk. But yeah, some guys do send cash on some of this stuff too. Not a problem whatsoever. Just make sure you put a note in there what it's for so I get you credited correctly, on stuff. So, yeah, not a big deal at all. But obviously, let's get into the magazine. The magazine tonight actually, fortunately, because we've gone a lot longer than we normally would have, but fortunately, even though it's a regular size magazine, I didn't have a lot in it tonight. But it was a new car issue, so there was a lot of new car stuff we were going to catch, but that's really about all I was going to plan on doing with it. So that'll work out well in timing. So throw them badges up. We ain't seen them in a little bit. Perfect, Zach. Appreciate it. Let's get moving into the October of 1971 car and driver, the 1972 new car issue. Got to kind of get everybody's too excited about the plates, even myself included. We got to keep moving here. So Zach's gonna tune in Tuesday. Perfect. Yep, absolutely. Zach's viewer box Tuesday night, and then we got another viewer box the following week from one of our friends in Canada. So we got viewer boxes coming up. Perfect, Travis. Not a problem. Clark's got to jump off. We'll catch this 1972 new cars real quick, and then that will pretty much catch us for tonight. The best part about this magazine being the new car issue is there's a bunch of killer ads. So we'll look at the article for the new cars, talk about a few of the new features, and then we'll get to the ads, and then we'll be ready to wrap up tonight. So we're just going to flip straight to the new car section because that's where all the good stuff was at in this magazine tonight. The 1972 car, starting off with General Motors for 72. Buick Centurion with delicate appearing front bumper is actually a thinly disguised bulldozer. The Skylark, the Tornado. And it's kind of weird. They had a center section. I don't know if this was designed to be a pullout. I bet this was, I don't know if it's designed to pull out or not, but the 72 cars has kind of a newsprint center part of this magazine with the 72 new cars. Now, obviously, we see the Buick Centurion. We see the unmistakable Oldsmobile Tornado over here. We see the Buick Skylark right here. Notice anything odd about that Buick Skylark? Not your typical Buick Skylark for 72. Who knows what that car is? And it's weird. I don't know if this was designed because this whole new car section was in this kind of weird yellowish newsprint. So not really sure where they were going with that. But if you guys can see up close here, this 72 Skylark has a sunroof. There we go. Scott got it on Facebook. It is a sun coupe. That is exactly right. The Skylark sun coupe. Definitely a little bit different. Eloy's got to sign off. Glad you're here tonight, Eloy. And the next page, more General Motors products, the Caprice, the Vega GT, the Grandville, as well as the Firebird and the Formula. Check some of these shots out. Tweety says it's hard to see. It is a little bit, this newsprint's kind of funky. Travis has got to sign off. Glad you were here. The cameras, unless there's just some not feeding it correctly, the cameras look fairly clear on my screen. So I don't know what the issue is on your end, Tweedly D. Is anybody else having problems with what they're seeing, or is it just Tweedly D? Yeah, the Vega's kind of funky. Chris says he's clear, so okay. Full size hood says big block. Yeah. Next up, the 72 Ford. By 72, things are not quite as exciting at Ford. Obviously, the Lincoln, the Maverick, the Pinto, but at least the Maverick was actually a grabber. Not a real good shot of it, but it was actually a grabber. Michael can see fine on Facebook, so we've got a good feed over there as well. We see the grabber Maverick, kind of cool. But Ford didn't really have a lot of home runs in 72. You know, the Mustang had gotten bigger and was getting a little less popular. Of course, the Pinto in 72, that obviously went a little bit south on them on those first years of Pintos for sure. And there's actually, we're going to get a lot better pictures when we get into the ads because there's a ton of great ads. But 72 Chrysler still had a little bit of life with the Cuda, the Challenger, and the Satellite. Of course, also the big cars, but they had the Charger, the Roadrunner. Actually had some cool performance shots on the Mopar section. Obviously, the Challenger Rally, the Satellite, the Cuda, the Roadrunner, the Charger. The Maverick suffered from the Pinto and the Mustang in the beginning. Yeah, there's probably some truth to that. And like I said, this is just the article. The ads are the home run in here. We'll get those here shortly. That's right, Scott. By 72 things, we're starting to head the wrong way. Nut Farm's got to sign off. Is it signed to the couch tonight? I hope we didn't get you in too much trouble, Nut Farm. It'll be all right, Randy. We'll do it again next week, so... And 72 AMC, including the Sportabout wagon and the latest science in nickel rockets, a 304 Gremlin X. Now, the interesting thing I wanted to touch on with this was the technical highlights. Just like Scott said, things were heading the wrong way by 72. And the first part of the technical highlights, exactly what he was talking about. X-Ray's a fan of the Gremlins. I love the little Gremlin X's. Less power to California. So we're going to catch some of these technical highlights for 72, and then we're going to catch the ads for tonight. California has lower nitrous oxide emission limits than the rest of the U.S. The following engines have not been certified to that standard and therefore will not be sold in that state. The Ford 240-inch 6 in full size, the Chevrolet 256 in full size, the Chevrolet 307, 396, and 454s, the Oldsmobile 455W30, all models, the Plymouth and Dodge 446 barrel models. In addition, the cold air induction systems for high-performance Plymouth and Dodge are also gone. So, the bumpers, obviously the impact bumpers were coming along in that era. All GM full-size cars have front bumpers capable of withstanding a 2.5 mile per hour barrier impact, 5 mile per hour car-to-car with no damage. Rubber impact strips protect the bumper from scratches. So obviously we knew that was coming. New seatbelt laws. After January 1, 1972, the federal government requires all cars to have a 3-point restraint system for the two front passengers. The system consists of conventional lap and shoulder belts that can be secured with only one buckle. So January of 72 was when the 3-point front seatbelt became law. EGR, exhaust gas recirculation. To satisfy 1972 California legislation limited nitrous oxide emissions, several manufacturers will use exhaust gas recirculation systems. By recycling metered amounts of exhaust gas into the intake manifold, the fresh charge is diluted, which in turn reduces combustion temperatures. Deflated horsepower ratings. California, in its infinite wisdom, it actually says that. California, in its infinite wisdom, right here. I'll let you guys even read it yourselves. Has passed legislation requiring honest horsepower ratings in all car advertisements appearing in that state starting with 1972 models. SAE Standard J245. A procedure for rating net horsepower will be the new arbiter. The net horsepower figures will be measured on a dynamometer as before, but now the engine will be equipped as it would be when installed in a car. That means a complete exhaust system, manifold heat riser, air cleaner, air preheat system, if any, and all emissions controls be in place and operating. So that's when we started seeing net horsepower ratings in 1972. Sunroofs. Convertibles are being phased out, and the European-style sliding sunroofs are taking their place. For 1972, they are optional on the following cars. AMC, Gremlin, and Hornet and Sportabout. Ford, Thunderbird, and all full-size Fords. Cougar, and all full-size Mercurys, as well as Lincoln Mark IV. Chrysler, Plymouth, Duster, Barracuda, Satellite, Sebring, and Fury, Dodge, Demon, Challenger, and Charger. Chrysler, all models were available with a sunroof in 72. General Motors, Pontiac Ventura 2, and Skylark and Riviera in 72. Electronic ignition systems. Electronic ignition is standard equipment for 1972 on all Chrysler Corporation 340, 400, and 440 V8s. All Pontiac Grand Prix with 455 engines, all Pontiac models with 455 high output, and optional on Granville and Grand Safari wagons. This system eliminates the needs for points, reducing periodic ignition maintenance to spark plugs only. In addition, the Chrysler unit features a built-in RPM limiter. While these ignition systems help cold weather starting and will fire foul or dirty plugs that would be marginal for a conventional system, manufacturers find them particularly attractive because they help to maintain new car emission levels for the 50,000 mile period required by law. They will be common by 1975, which we do know now by 1975. Electronic ignition had become very common in about everything. So, okay, I was just reading Kenny's note there. So, a lot of interesting things happening in 1972 or coming up to 1972 for the new cars. Like I said, that was mainly what I wanted to catch in here, except for the ads, because there are a slug of great ads in here. And most of it is all tied to the new car issue. So let's get started on those. Not all of it is new car issue related, but most of it is. We'll start off with Simon Eyes, Master Wax. Who remembers Simon Eyes? Tougher Than Winter. And another reason we didn't do a lot more of this magazine is half this magazine was editorials, which was just, there wasn't any cool pictures. There wasn't a lot of meat to it, or some some different racing type stuff that I'm not very familiar with and we don't know a lot about. So mainly wanted to catch the new car stuff, and that's where we're going with the ads as well. But Simon Eyes, you had to do the Simon Eyes ad. It was a staple in that time period to Simon Eyes your car. And the other nice thing about a lot of these new car ads, they are in color, including the new Opel GT. Opel GT, Buick's foreign sporty car. The next ad's great. 2-page full color for our Mopar fans, the Rapid Transit System and friends, 340 Duster, Roadrunner, Cudas, all kinds of, a whole bunch of Mopar coolness right there in that Plymouth ad. Next, I said the ads are home runs. Here's what a lot of this magazine looks like. Stuff like this. But right opposite of that, the new 442 ad in full color. This is why there wasn't a lot of good meat in this magazine. But with the new car stuff, the new car standards coming out, and the ads, you can see why it's still a winner. I'm not sure. I don't know if it says if this was shot at Red Rocks or not on the Plymouth ad. It could be. I mean, it definitely looks like it could be that terrain, but it does not say if it was Red Rocks or what. Obviously, the Cutlass was shot at the ocean, so. And as we flip the page from the Cutlass, another great ad, 2-page, full color, action shot. 19 years of Corvette taught us a lot about sports cars. Camaro for 1972. Check this ad out. Now I think you guys are starting to see why, even though there wasn't a lot of great articles in here, it was still well worth spending a little time with. The next ad actually does not have much color in it at all. In fact, I don't think it's got any color in it. And it's got a lot of text, but it's kind of cool because it was a little bit different type of an ad compared to what we've been looking at throughout this whole magazine. American Motors introduces the guaranteed car. If anything goes wrong with one of our 72s and it's our fault, we'll fix it free. Anything. The American Motors 1972 Buyer Protection Plan. For years, car buyers in this country have been saying that instead of shiny new chrome every year, what they really want is a good car they can count on. That's why American Motors and its dealers put together their 1972 Buyer Protection Plan. A strong guarantee in plain English. When you buy a new 1972 car from an American Motors dealer, American Motors Corporation guarantees to you that, except for tires, it will pay for the repair or replacement of any part it supplies that is defective in material or workmanship. This guarantee is good for 12 months from the date the car is first used or 12,000 miles, whichever comes first. All we require is that the car be properly maintained and cared for under normal use and service in the 50 states or Canada. And that guaranteed repairs or replacements be made by an American Motor Dealers. All kinds of stuff in here, but it's all about their warranty, their 12,000 mile, 12-month warranty on the new AMC products coming out for 1972. Next, another nice color ad for the new 72 Charger. Joe's Classics is here. Yep, caught us at the end, but that's all right. Another nice color 2-page ad, very sophisticated ad, very classy ad, which is really the look that they were going for, the sporty but classy sporty for the 1972 Pontiac Grand Prix. Kind of silhouette shots against an all-black background, very, very classy ad. But they were marketing the Grand Prix as an upscale car, so that's what they were doing. Nice ad, cool looking car. Pete's digging it, Leo's digging it. Now the next two ads actually really aren't on topic. But I have to show them to you. I have to show them to you. They're not on topic, but I got to show them to you. Because remember, we're in October of 1971. We really need to remember we're in October of 1971 right now. As we check out Richard Petty in his Cool Ray Polaroid sunglasses. Check that out. And yes, it's going to get better after this one. Because the next one, and like I said, it has nothing to do with cars. But we had to show this one. I had to do it. I've got to do it. Mach 2 by Aero. Mach 2 by Aero. Well, that sounds pretty sporty. The Earth shirt. Mach 2 by Aero. Check out the ties on these dudes. Remember, October of 71. We got to remember we're October of 71. The up-and-coming attire for any radio salesman in the 70s. Yeah. We all remember Herb Tarlick wearing stuff like this on WKRP. This is the up-and-coming apparel for any and all radio salesmen in 1971, apparently. So I had to show it to you guys. I know it's off topic, but I was like, man, when we're going to go back into the 70s, we got to catch some of this stuff because it's too good. Leo says he still got one. All right, Leo. So completely off topic, but we got to show that. We just got to. It's like a law or something. We have to show that one off. Couple of more ads, and then we're going to call the magazine and get ready to wind this thing down tonight. The inside back cover, actually Ford kind of took the whole back cover. The inside back cover, the first Gran Torino, the 1972 Gran Torino two-door hardtop, the new line of midsize Fords, rugged because it's built on a new body frame, smooth because it's got a special new suspension, comfortable because it's our roomiest midsize car ever, and quiet because it's a Ford. Better idea for safety, buckle up, the Ford Gran Torino. Les Nesmith, that's right. The news with Les Nesmith. Les Nessman. There's Les Nessman. The news with Les Nessman and his Buckeye Pig Award or whatever. You guys are probably getting thirsty, ain't you? And let's catch the back cover and then wrap this one up. The all-new Mercury Montego GT, new high-stability suspension, takes the grunts and groans out of GT handling. Better ideas make better cars. Mercury. So there we've got it. The Car and Driver 1972 new car issue from October of 1971. Like I told you, there was a lot of editorial type stuff in here. Not a lot of really great articles where we had pictures that we could talk about while we were going through it. But with the new car standards coming out, because obviously just like the comment I think Scott made, that there was a lot of things changing at that point. It covered a lot of those and the new requirements coming out. It covered a lot of the new cars, and being the new car issue, home run on ads tonight. So even though I know it wasn't the best magazine we've done, still thought it was well worth checking out, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So all I think about is the Clint Eastwood of the Gran Torino movie. I never did see that movie, so Kenny said he likes the magazine anyway. I'm glad some of you guys enjoyed it. I know it's not as good as some of the other stuff we do, but there was definitely enough meat there to work with, and it actually worked out perfect tonight since the auctions went a little longer. Having a little bit less in the magazine worked out excellent. So glad you guys enjoyed it. And need to watch. Yeah, I never thought about it. I've seen the previews for it, but I've never watched it. So anyway, I'm glad you guys did like it, because I knew we weren't going to have as much of the magazine tonight, but fortunately it worked out perfectly. So what else is coming up this week? Video-wise, Toy Tuesday, just like Zach mentioned, we've got Zach's viewer box to start off with. Then we've got another viewer box from our Canadian friend. We'll do the following Toy Tuesdays. So the next two Toy Tuesdays will be viewer boxes. I will have some backup stuff in case, we need it a little bit to fill in a little bit of time. Toy Tuesdays coming up, viewer boxes. I've still got new inventory. I've still got the ACD archive video. Oh, signs. I got a new sign video coming out. Some stuff I dug out of some rafters a while back. I got them a little while ago. I did shoot content while I was up in the rafters prior to falling through the ceiling. I wasn't shooting when I fell through the ceiling. But fortunately, when I went through, I only hit one ceiling tile. So I only had to replace one tile. So that was a win. But super cool hand-painted local signs. So that video is ready. Leo says the next drawing is going to be off the chain. I'm glad you guys are already excited about it. So I've got that video. I still got videos from my buddy's yard. And then, of course, Mecum. I think Pete said you're going to Mecum. Is that correct, Pete? And I don't know if anybody else is going to Tulsa next weekend. And let me know if you want me to bring your stuff, Pete, too, because I think you've got a couple things laying here. And let me know what we need to do on that. Anybody else is going to Mecum, Tulsa, be sure to let me know. We'll sure try to catch up there, maybe do a little bit of content while we're there with you guys. And shoot, we may do a live. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Yep, every time you say Torino, you hear Starsky and Hutch. There is no doubt about that. That was an iconic car, too. Perfect, Pete. No problem. Sounds great. We'll touch base on that, as well as anybody else that may be going to Tulsa next week for Mecum. So, let's see. Tony, I paid you for the 31 Pontiac badge. Hold it and ship when it comes. Perfect. Sounds great, Tony. We're good there. I'll check the 31 badge off, and I'll put it with all the stuff from tonight until we get caught up on that, and we'll get it all in the box and get it on the way to you. Get some stuff off of Rambler for the X auction. Okay, John wants Rambler stuff. Okay. Well, we've got the video done on the 59. I haven't done it yet, so we'll try to find something off of that. And I need to get the 62 shot as well. And I know you guys have been wanting some AMC stuff. I need to mix a little bit of that stuff in as well. Also, like I said, plus we've had a ton of rain here at the end of the week last week, so I did start cleaning some stuff in the shop. Found more stuff there that's going to get added to the auction boxes. That's part of the reason this stuff is filling up so quick. So plus we'll probably have some more content from ACD. We'll see what's going on. Maybe do a quick shop tour at the Auburn Cord-Duesenberg Company. See what Doug and Adam are working on down there, because there's always something cool there to check out. So hopefully we'll have some more content from all that stuff. Maybe do some live stuff from Mecum. Maybe do some stuff with Mecum with some of you guys. So Scott says time to go to bed. I understand. I think that's about what time it is for everybody. John loved the Ford truck video the other day. So, yep, obviously I'm a fan of the 73 to 79s. Grab everything I can find on them. And obviously have my 78 F250 that is in my shop right now that one of these days I hope to get back on and get something done with it. So anyway, that being said, that pretty much wraps us up for tonight. I'll keep an eye on comments here for another minute or two. Leo's going to jump off as everybody's getting ready to wind down. Had a ton of fun with you guys tonight. Thanks to all of you guys for participating in the auction, participating in the raffle. Had a great raffle this month. I think we're going to have a great raffle next month. I can't believe I've never thought about just doing a really great batch of plates for the raffle. But obviously the response so far has already been overwhelming. We'll get a few more badges up here while we wind down, let everybody finish off tonight's drink, and get ready to wrap this thing up tonight. So, like I said, Toy Tuesday, we will be doing it live Tuesday evening, and we'll bust open Zach's box. We'll get some more of these videos up this week. I don't know exactly what all I'm going to get up because I got a bunch of stuff in there, but we'll get some stuff going. Appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the kind comments that you guys had a good time tonight. We had another great show. Like you guys know, I do try to work hard. I do try to put out a good quality product. Invite your friends, come over to tell them to come over, and hopefully they will enjoy what we're doing as well, because I do try to do a good job for you guys, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. So with that, we're ready to get ready to wind this thing down. Hope everybody has a great week. We're going to hit the road at the end of the week and hopefully see some of you guys. Looking forward to getting away for a couple of days. Definitely looking forward to seeing our good friends Doug and Adam Prey, the Auburn Cord-Duesenberg Company, and definitely catching Mecum and seeing some of the cool rides that are going to be showing up there. So thanks for being here. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for making this what it is. Thanks for your participation in the auction raffles. If it wasn't for you guys, I'd just be some knucklehead sitting here talking into a webcam, and that wouldn't be very entertaining. You guys are what help keep this thing tied together, make it what it is, and I appreciate that as well. So I don't know if I make the show. I don't know if I quite do all that, but I do try to do a decent job and put out a good product. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to sign off, get a few more things wrapped up tonight, get ready to kick the week off tomorrow. And sounds like I've got some PayPals of some of this stuff that I'm going to box up, get on the way to you guys. I'm going to get all this stuff down off the wall. We're going to get it all boxed up as well and get it on the way to you guys also. Should see Pete at the end of the week, and hopefully maybe one or two others if some of you guys are going to be at Mecum. And if nothing else, we sure hope to see you Tuesday night. Definitely hope to see you back here next Sunday night, 7 o'clock Sunday evening for Sunday Night Live Chat. We will actually I'll have a report from Mecum because I'll be there. So we'll have boots on the ground for me this time. Plus our good friend Jim Wicks will be there. We'll probably do some videos with him. And we'll hope to see you all back here next Sunday night for Sunday Night Live Chat. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you spending basically your entire Sunday evening with me to help make this what it is. Number one still wants more toys. I will get some toys out for next week, number one. I tell you what, in my notes section right here, I'm going to write TOYS right there. Number one wants to see more toys. I got it wrote right here so that hopefully I won't forget next time. I'll get some more toys in there. With that, let's wrap it up. Good night, everybody. I hope everybody has a great week. Can't wait to see some of you next week at Mecum, and we'll have some great content for next week. And curious to see how the tag raffle works out for everybody. Also excited about that. And Ford emblems. We got the Ford. There's already some Ford emblems already in there. So I know we've at least got a batch of Ford emblems in there for you, number one. So there again, good night, Johnny. I'm flattered with the Johnny Carson comments. I really am. I just don't see how you guys can tie me to somebody of that caliber for somebody that did it that long for what he did. But it is flattering. I do appreciate the kind words and all the support. So that being said, I guess that'll do it. I'll make sure we're caught up here. Have a great week, everybody. Good night, everyone. And we'll see you at least Tuesday night, if not next Sunday night, for another episode of Sunday Night Live Chat. Thanks for watching, everybody.